hit subscribe. Subscribe to my guy, Uncle D. Tell him Big Bass sent you.
Spurling. I'm an attorney here in Houston, Texas. An advocate for black men, largely because I am a black man. I'm a black father. I have black sons. Hey, man, I do what I do.
Hit the like, 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 hit the like. It's a party going on, we all looking at dinners. Spurling and subscribe, it only take you a minute. Hit the cash app, super chat, be a penny. One is real good, but 20 more can be plenty. Blizzard King pay a visit, Big Bass my witness. Appreciate the love, there's black men doing business. Stand up, father and brother, lawyer is he. Hall of Fame game, he's known as Uncle D. Tell it just like B, representing for we. We know time is money, you learning and pay a fee. Know it's cold outside, but the podcast hot. Giving you a feeling that these others ain't got. Say it's cold outside, but the podcast hot. Giving you a feeling that these others ain't got. Yeah, know that the blizzard come through. Bundle up for the winner, know this hit. Darren Hay watch, views. Hit the like, you know that the blizzard come through. Bundle up for the winner, know just hit. Darren Hay watch, views. Hit the like, hit the like, hit the like.
We still look at all the beautiful music that we've created. That's what's on the inside of us. We are wonderful people. Minute. All right, microphone check, microphone check. Everybody hear me? Hit the number 1 button. Let me know you can hear me clearly. I want to give a big shout out to everybody in the chat room. Wow, we got a good bit of folks in here already. I'll tell you what we're going to do. I meant to run this video, so I'm going to run this video. I'll be right back. And we got a real hot discussion tonight. It's going to go quick, but it's going to be very poignant. And we're going to talk about black overseers on the Democrat plantation who got that whip out, and they want y'all to come back and start explaining how dare you start thinking independently. We'll be right back. Y'all hit the number 1 button. It feels good. It feels good to talk about me and blah, blah. I know it feels good, but remember, there are people out there will use that against you. Just keep listening to the little lady.
The majority of black fathers live with their children. Black fathers are more likely to help their children with their homework than dress their children compared to fathers of other races. So the absent or deadbeat black father myth that many in America believe is really more like a lie.
Deadbeat dad, that's a lie. You the prize. If it wasn't for black men, you'd probably die. You the prize. I'ma say it again, yeah, times 10. You the prize. Negative spin they putting on black men. Cause you the prize. Deadbeat dad, that's a lie. You the prize. If it wasn't for black men, you probably die. You the prize. I'ma say it again, times 10. You the prize. Negative spin they putting on black men. You the prize. I'm the prize, damn right. Taking flight like Sean Kemp. You acting so nice, she treat you like you a simp. Wonder why these swim thugs busting up the shrimp. Give her hope and she love it cause she see him as a pimp. 30 years of marriage, 3 kids, big crib. Blood test discovered, none of the kids are his.
No, we know each other. We go way back all the way to Chad Science in Newark, okay?
Corny kid, right?
New breed of women got a good one, get it. Don't belong to you, she belong to the city. I bust my ass every day to put food on top the table. You on Instagram complaining like you ain't able. You know who the enemy is, so why the fuss? Gender war on black men wasn't started by us.
And then the policeman had his neck on somebody's neck for 9 minutes. He never support them.
I'm not here to fight about what he did, what he didn't do. Is he a good white man? Is he a bad white man?
But we all know that's not the case.
Black women have specific needs that are not also being met.
We were putting them cuffs in the back of the bus. Hangman ain't a game in the South, they hung us up. How you go through that, come home and start bitching? Daddy ran off, years later his son switching. Gotta take up a stand, black men in demand. Gotta work for it, we ain't holding your hands. The most hard out on the earth, so know your worth. Black diamonds so expensive, they deep down in the dirt. What do you mean by that? Giving to for you, sweet shit, to you the prize. Can't see what we done seen, open your eyes. Beauty is more than skin deep than girl pie. Black men living our lives, we catch you fly. Love it or hate it, that's what it is, we gon' ride. Only deal with women who stay their ass inside. If she outside, need attention, she a freak. Running up the numbers, she probably just for the street.
Black people, if you stank and we smell you, oh, we gonna talk about you.
Take care of you, don't worry about the women. Tough times come, they quick to call a minute. Cover up the sinning, ever since the beginning. Baby, let's keep it equal, ain't no more pretending. When niggas settle down, they wanna give great advice. But when they on the streets, they living their best life. You in a different world, ain't gotta be in them lanes. Cause women waste time and playing a lot of games. Focus on you, America's been done. Still looking for Eve like Adam has been done. Don't stop, let me cook barbecue roast chickens. Generational problem diagnosed with women. How many women got a BBL? Fake hair, eyelashes, and the nails. Tell the truth, how many y'all been to jail? Makeup like the funeral from hell. How many tattoos tatted on your body? How many baby daddy's kids at your party? Raise your hand, got an OnlyFans page. How many y'all ever been engaged? Over 40 and you never been married. Over 50 and the baby never carried. Black men see we deserve the best. Never bow down, now say it with your chest.
I ain't gonna use a cuss word, but F them up.
Can't be dead, that's a lie. You the prize. If it wasn't for black men, you'd probably die. You the prize. I'ma say it again, yeah, times 10. You the prize. Negative spin they putting on black men. Cause you the prize. Can't be dead, that's a lie. You the prize. If it wasn't for black men, you'd probably die. You the prize. I'ma say it again, times 10. You the prize. Negative spin they putting on black men. You the prize. Bow down is the Blizzard King. It's cold outside, let freedom ring. Bow down is the Blizzard King. It's cold outside, let freedom ring. Bow down is the Blizzard King. It's cold outside, let freedom ring. Bow down is the Blizzard King. It's cold outside, let freedom ring. Ding ding.
Got generations of black women who have been raised to believe that they don't need a black man, and the black men will continuously vilify, and black men will continuously vilify. We can deal with that. What we can't deal with is a bunch of gender bending. What we can't deal with is 14 million more immigrants flooding the southern border. What we can't deal with is rampant crime. What we can't deal with is being taxed to death so we can pay for luxury yachts and boats and planes for the Ukrainian president. What's up, beautiful people? This is Dennis Spurling. Welcome back to the broadcast. I hope you all enjoyed that music video by Big Bass Life. Yeah. What's up? So you guys see I'm a little late tonight. And the reason I'm late is because I had court today. There's this very important case that I'm working on where, unfortunately, someone lost someone that they really loved. And, so I had a long day, long afternoon, but I definitely want to come in here and give you all, well, I want to say I had a successful day. That's good. But nevertheless, there's a certain level of stress that goes along with practicing law on this level. It's my firm, and there's 13 different defendants. And of those defendants, we got about 7 different law firms opposing me. So nevertheless, we had a successful day. It's been a tough go run. And, I always want to dedicate myself to my clients first, but I also love you all. Shout out to all my people up in here, man. Shout out to TIQS. Thanks for being the first person in. I appreciate you guys. I got the yellow rose on today. Let me see if I can make sure. I want to make sure y'all can get that yellow rose there. Beautiful rose. Try to, man, make this thing a little cooler. But anyway, look, fam. Golly, I hate to do this. I really do. But I have to begin to speak the truth, right? You know, but it's, you know, at some point, the truth has to be spoken. Okay. Shout out to From Here Enlightenment. I will make sure to read everybody's super chat. Any cash ads that come through, I will read all of those. But I want to kind of just roll through this because I think it's a very important message. Tonight, we're going to talk about freedom. We're talking about freedom. Okay, brothers and sisters, we're talking about freedom. And I'm going to promise you that when you leave this broadcast tonight, your perspective on things, especially like racism and the history of America, it's going to be challenged. Before we finish tonight, I am going to convince you through facts and history that just because a person is racist, open racist, does not necessarily mean that they don't do things that benefit Black people or Black people in whole, or you as an individual. I got some good examples, okay? Because here's the thing. The Democratic Party has used, oh, he's racist or she's racist, as a scare tactic to convince Black people to adhere to their political will. And it's just time that we stop allowing that fear, either real or imagined, to sway our political opinion. Because sometimes you can vote for something, you could be scary and vote for something that's against your interest, or vote for someone that's against your interest. So I'm going to challenge you. I'm the Blizzard King. I'm going to tell the truth. You don't have to like what I say or not, but you will walk up out of here learning something, and you will have to think. Everybody that looks like your friend is not. You understand? But here's the thing. There are Black people out there right now who are working overtime to keep you on the plantation, the Democrat plantation, just like during chattel slavery. Back then, you know, the plantation was an open field full of cotton and tobacco, and today the plantation is political. It's the Democratic plantation specifically. And if history teaches us anything, is that the worst overseers were always the Black overseers. You remember that movie Django? Stephen. Stephen was the worst of all of them. Okay. Well, nevertheless, right now we have a bunch of Black overseers doing the exact same thing, trying to drag free thinking Black people, both Black men and Black women, back to the Democratic plantation. And they're not doing it for our benefit. They're doing it for their own egos and their own pockets and their own self-interest. Because for them, this is about power. For them, this is about control. For them, this is about earning favor with their political masters. What they want is a butter biscuit. Somebody type butter biscuit in the chat room. I'm going to have to get some water in a minute, but we're going to get these butter biscuits. Somebody type butter biscuit in the chat room. Okay? And see, the more Black people they are able to control and drag Black back to the plantation, the more butter biscuits they get. In other words, the cushier their lives become. So instead of 50 lashes, they get 45, right? And to them, that's a great deal because they're willing to sell out their people. So, you know, because at the end of the day, they're cowards. At the end of the day, they do what's in their best interest, period. Now, the question we have to ask ourselves also is, what is a racist and who is the real racist and who are, you know, and does it really matter to us? Okay. And this is going to be sophisticated. It's a lot of people that just pass because as soon as you hear racism, it's like, you know, you're not asking what kind of racist. You're not asking if it's a remittent. You're not asking any of those questions, right? But see, the game that they're playing right now is simple: convince you that the Republican Party, the Democrat, whoever, can basically convince you that Trump is a racist, that voting for Trump made you stupid. Okay, even enjoying some of the things you see him doing makes you dumb enough so that you are willing to walk away from him. This way, you're next, right? So even if you're enjoying the things now, well, let's go ahead and vote him out or vote the Republican Party out. And again, I'm not here to tell you what to do. I don't do that. I just tell you to vote your interest, whatever it is. You free thinking people, okay? But I want to ask you all something. If the only way they can keep your loyalty is by making you afraid or shaming you or threatening you, who's the real oppressor? If they can't convince you with free, with open debate and ideas, then what is it they're using? See, the political reality is that, you know, Joe Biden and the Democratic Party and Kamala Harris and the Democrat Party, they tried to scare you, okay? They tried to use race to divide you. You don't vote for me, you ain't black. They try to use fear to control you. They try to use lies to manipulate you. And when you rejected their nonsense, they mocked you. They called you names. They tried to make you feel like you were dumb or a sellout, right? Or a nocturnal animal that forages for garbage in your garbage can, who is omnivorous. That's what they made you feel like, okay? But here's the truth. We're not dumb. We're a very intelligent people, and we're not weak. Look at all that we've endured. And the other thing is we're not easily controlled. That's why you can look at the history of uprisings that took place in the United States even before it became a country. That shows you that we're not a people that can be easily controlled. We are the most sophisticated group of people, Africans on this planet, people of African descent, I should say. We have 1.8 million black billionaires out of 44 million people. That is 8%. That is 1,800,000 black billionaires in the United States. We have multiple multiple 1.8 million black millionaires and multiple black billionaires. I believe it's like up to nearly a dozen at this point. We have more black men in college than we do in prison. We have black women who are the most enrolled group of women in college at this time in the United States. So what does that tell you? That tells you, hey, we're doing a lot of right thing. We're doing a lot of things that are right. Number one, it tells you we can think for ourselves, okay? We can choose for ourselves and we can decide for ourselves. Again, for you all who are new to my broadcast, I don't tell people what to do. I preach a freedom doctrine. In other words, I'm telling you, you are free men and women. Now, I used to just talk to my brothers. But now I've expanded out to just address all of the black people. You're free people. I want everybody in this chat room to type this: I am free. In this chat, whether you're a man or woman, I am a free man. I am a free woman. That's what I do here. I'm not here to control you. I'm not here to force you to accept an ideology. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm here to tell you to vote your interest, do what's in your best interest. You are free people. That's what I want you to understand, number one, because that's what my people fought for. That's what foundational Black American people fought for. We fought for freedom. Now, see, these overseers hate us because they can't control us. They want to stymie your freedom. See, the truth is, these black overseers, they think they want to treat you like you're stupid. Okay? They want to treat you like you're lost. They want to treat you like you're too dumb to understand politics. And I detest that. I don't want anybody talking bad about my people. I don't care if you're black from Africa, black from the Caribbean, you're Latino. I don't care if you're a friend or foe. If you talk about foundational Black American people, I am your enemy. Straight up. If you're a black person that talks reckless about Black American people, you could be foundational Black American yourself. If you talk too much stuff about black folk, me and you are not going to be cool. If you're a black person that constantly downs black men, I'm going to lean on you. And that's the only issue that I have with people like Dr. What's that man's name? What do you call himself? For the King Kong consciousness. And the other one, Dr. What's his name? The one that does the finance. He hit me up and asked me for some legal advice. But he hit me up, hit me in my inbox. I say, man, call the office. I didn't know if it was him or not. What's his name? What what's the brother's name? The chubby brother, the short chubby brother. What was his name? Y'all know what I'm talking about. Not Umar, the other one. Boyce Watkins. Yeah, he hit me up in my inbox. I said, just call off. I didn't know if it was him or not. It was somebody, looked like it was from his website, Instagram page. But nevertheless, you know, I just said call the office. But bottom line is, I have a problem with anybody who tries to disparage foundational Black American men, number one, because I am one and I got sons. But now, as I said, this is a different time period that we're in now, and we need to unify as a group. And so that's why I've extended it out to my sisters and everybody else, you see, because it's necessary. And I know I'm put in a position to do that because y'all realize that Uncle D don't care. You see what I mean? So, you know, Uncle D is the type that hit you in the mouth and then look at you and ask you what you're going to do. You see what I'm saying? That's kind of where I'm at. And I don't like anybody trying to take away from us what our ancestors got. And I don't like anybody trying to control us. You see? See, they don't want us to be independent. They don't want us to be successful without them. They don't want us to lead ourselves. I don't want to be your leader. And if any of you all saw that broadcast that O'Shea Duke Jackson did the other day, you know, he and Kevin Samuels had got together and decided that I was going to be the next leader of the Black Manosphere. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm not a leader. I'm not here to lead you. I'll be your teacher. I'll guide you. I'll teach you things. But I'm not here to stymie your freedom. I want you to be independent. I want you to be strong. You see? But see, these other folk, they want to be in charge of you. Whether they're on the Democrat plantation or whether they're these modern day Black power people, they want to be in charge of you. They want to be able to snap their fingers and make you move just like the white man. See, they don't want you to be free. They matter of fact, they literally want to take the white man's place. And I'm not talking about these modern white days. They want to put you back on the plantation. And they would treat you just as bad, if not worse. And hell, history proves that even the Black slave owners in this country, some of them were just as brutal, if not more brutal, than the white slave owners. In South Carolina, there was a Black man who owned slaves and he treated them horribly. They had to make laws. They reprimanded him about treating his slaves so bad. He was Black. So this is a power thing that we're talking about. And these modern day overseers, these modern day Black overseers from the Democrat plantation, they want to keep their power because when they no longer have power for you, they become useless to their liberal Democrat masters. And at that point, we already know what happens when you become useless to white supremacy. It breaks its tools. You see? And if that means enslaving their own people politically, they will do that. So let me say this very loud and proud. Black American people are free. We already fought that war. We already fought that battle, and we won. And the last thing we'll ever do is allow a bunch of sellout Black elites try to put us in chains, albeit political chains. We're going to refuse that. Now, that being the case, let's go ahead and begin to look at some of this video footage. Now, it's been a lot of Black folks that have a lot of things to say about a lot of this ongoing political strife. And I'm definitely weighing in on this as we speak. Now, I want you guys to just check this out, man. Hit the #1 button if you can hear it clearly.
Slaves hiding in the White House.
Wait, he didn't say what I think he did he?
Yes, he did. He said runaway slaves.
Runaway slaves hiding in the White House.
Straight from the horse's mouth. My question for you, Pastor, is this. If we are runaway slaves, then what are we running away from?
Right.
Ah, yes. The Democrat plantation for which you refuse to leave. And you continue to lead your congregation into slavery instead of preaching them the truth, which gives everybody the freedom that we all long for.
Gonna throw my picture up thinking that I'm gonna be afraid.
I find this type of rhetoric from a pastor to be very embarrassing and very close to apostasy. See, with your position, you should be trying to unite us in Christ instead of dividing us by our skin. Yet you refuse to accept the truth. That's why you went on to tell lies like this.
If you got real courage, don't show my picture. Show the picture of the one that fired the Black Joint Chief of Staff from the military.
The irony of you saying that General Charles Q. Brown was fired by this administration for being black is laughable. Don't you know that it was Trump that nominated him to be Chief of Staff of the Air Force back in 2020, which allowed him to be in position in 2023 to be appointed the Joint Chief of Staff Chairman? Like, you do understand that, right? So if he was fired for being black, then was he hired for being black? How about this? It was neither one of those, and the reason why he was fired is because he made diversity his prerogative. When you're in the military, it should be military readiness.
If you gonna put up a picture of the state legislators in Florida that are banning black books.
No, Florida legislators have not explicitly banned any books.
Now, we do all know who this preacher is, right? This is Jamal Bryan of Baltimore. We do know that, right? Shout out to Yolanda Edney. Keep listening. We do know who this is, right? Listen to this man. Somebody type baby mamas in the chat room.
Titles, but laws like HB 1467 and HB 1069 created a framework where books can be challenged and removed from classroom and libraries. These laws require school districts to review materials for age appropriateness and prohibit any content deemed pornographic, while also restricting teaching on race, gender, and sexual orientation in certain contexts. Out of the 400 to 500 books that have been reported banned, only 30% have anything to do with black people or black authors. So
I'm going to some detail about the books that were banned, but I just want y'all to see there are a lot of black people saying, look, you're not going to sit up here and tell us what to do. We're not doing it. Okay. We're not going for it. Keep listening.
No, this is not an attack on blackness. Okay. It's just whackness that we're trying to get out of these schools.
If you gonna put up a picture, put up the picture of the one who is stealing classified information from the IRS and Social Security.
No, there's no evidence that Elon Musk has direct access to IRS information or individual taxpayer data. This is just a boogeyman that the Democrats are pushing because they are scared of what Doge is going to expose about all this money laundering and why senators who have...
Somebody type, show me the money in the chat room. Where's our money? All you taxpayers out there, do you want to continue playing for sex changes in Honduras? Let me know. All right. And I'll be quiet.
200K salaries are worth over millions of dollars in just a few years.
If you gonna put up a picture of those that don't want your mama to pay $35 for insulin and your child to pay $35 for inhaler.
You know,
this man is a...
When they say you have to laugh to keep from crying, you know, this hurts my brain to sit here and watch you just lie so blatantly in your...
Okay, so anytime you got somebody that'll just flat out misrepresent to you, okay, what the actual facts are, what does that tell you? It tells you largely that they can't win on a straight up debate. They can't justify it. So they got to say, well, you know, they have to misinform you with the facts. Okay, keep in mind, this is the same man who was a member of Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity who took it upon himself to disparage Kevin Samuels' name after he passed away. Keep in mind that Kevin Samuels was also a proud member of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. And so he talked about his own frat brother after he died. So that lets you know the integrity that this man has. That's just something that, as much as I disagree with Roland Martin, I'm not going to talk bad about my chubby frat brother, you know, the day after he died. You understand what I'm saying? That just lets you know the character of this individual. But let's keep listening to the
your pulpit. No, Trump is not trying to raise the cost of insulin. Insulin was capped at $35 for out-of-pocket expenses as part of the Inflation Reduction Act. But even before then, the average price of out-of-pocket expenses was $55. You know what I'm saying? Like, no grandma or anybody was going broke for paying an extra $20 for some insulin shots. And then when it came to the inhalers cap, there's no law that capped it at 35. Matter of fact, the manufacturers came together and just agreed to cap it at $35. So why would that change under Trump? That didn't even come through legislation. So you're just out here fear-mongering people once again with false information and trying to make it seem like Trump is this guy who just only looks out for the rich and doesn't give a crap about the poor. This couldn't be any further from the truth.
If you gonna put up a picture of jailing children and separating families.
That was what Barack Obama did. He was the one that started that. He was the one that had cages, children in cages on the border. You know, I mean, I just want you to think about that. Nevertheless, you know, look at all these folks.
You forgot
all this emotionalism. So you just gonna get these people riled up. First of all, you're a preacher. Why are you making a political stance from a pulpit? There are specific tax laws that say if you begin to do that, you lose your tax exempt status. But anyway.
I'm from the west side of Baltimore. If you got a problem, pull up on me.
Yeah, all right.
Well, now from Mississippi.
That's it. All the Democrats. This is you right here. This is y'all right here. All the black Democrats. Look. Calvin. Calvin. Somebody type Calvin Candy in the chat room. This is you all. This is y'all right here. This is how you look. You see? And I want you all to remember, Stephen thought he really thought he was doing the thing. He thought he was right. I want y'all to look at yourselves. This is how y'all look. You look like buffoons. That's what you look like. You look like the party that supports open borders. You look like the party that supports all this rainbow riding. And why is this man, you know, who's a church, leading the church, you in there promoting these policies from the Democratic Party, and everything they do is antithetical. I messed the word. It's against what the Bible says. It's against what the Bible. Let me look at you. I want all you. Okay, that's y'all right there. But let's keep on rolling through it. Now, here's the other thing. There's a lot of black people who are just really not feeling. Look, in the business. You know, y'all know who this is, right?
Giving out money, and honestly, I don't know what $5,000 will do for you.
Okay, so I want y'all to know that this young lady right here is going to use a lot of profane language, okay? But every time she says a word that goes against my family-friendly structure, I need y'all to counteract the curse word with family-friendly in the chat room. Okay, so if she says something, I'm gonna say family-friendly right behind it. I'm not trying to mess up the words, but I don't want to get my channel demonetized. You understand what I'm saying? So all my mods, what I need you to do is keep track of the words, F-bombs and MFs. Just let me know. Let's do a count. Let's make it fun. Woo! Y'all ready? Let's go.
Bitch, if you don't shut your fucking pie hole. First and foremost, it is the taxpayers' money. Where the fuck do you think it came from? You're not in the business of giving money out? Well, where the fuck was that attitude when you were giving it all to the fucking migrants? Yeah, y'all motherfuckers didn't have a single issue giving out the taxpayers' dollars when you were sending it all to fucking Ukraine. Yeah, no issues giving billions of dollars to Israel. Yeah, where was all this energy when y'all were paying for sex changes for the fucking migrants?
Family friendly. Hold on a minute. Let's take a little break. Let's everybody breathe. Let's get it in. All right, let's get it out. Let's go.
Yeah, I don't know which state or district this bitch belongs to, but y'all need to come get this hoe. Take her outside and make that bitch touch some grass.
Family friendly.
$5,000 would do a lot for American families. Hell, sounds like she's in a position where $5,000 ain't shit to her. Well, bitch, we trying to be like you. Yeah, we like groceries and electricities too.
Woo, all right.
You're not in the business.
Thank you guys. We got through that. I thought it was necessary, okay? But that, I think, is the common consensus about how people feel when this woman said, you folks don't need, what are they gonna do with $5,000 anyway? That ain't nothing to a boss. Well, I want my $5,000. You can send me my check if you get yours and you don't want it. I'll take it. I'll take it. It can have Trump's name on it or whoever. Now, this is a less, I'm gonna just say less volatile, but this is another sister speaking on.
Yeah. She's not for you. She's not for the people. No, she's putting on a show, and she's lining her pockets. If she actually really cared about the people, she would be going for more money. Instead of saying that the United States government isn't in the business of handing out money, even though they're giving it to men who sleep with other men in South Africa, even though they're giving it to Ukraine by the billions, even though 100 billion of that money is missing, even though they're giving it to all of these migrants who have come in and have not paid into this system at all.
All right, so what I want y'all to understand, here's the thing. Black women have come out the box on the Democrat Party. And this is something that they cannot really account for, okay? Like the number of Black women who have come out and said, you know what, I may not support the Republican Party as a whole, but I certainly don't support some of these policies. Shout out to Quick 504. And so because of that, it makes it's hard for the Democrats to corral Black people back into the plantation. It was easier when you had 12% of Black men voting for Donald Trump. Oh, y'all just a bunch of house N-words and you know, nocturnal animals that omnivorous nocturnal animals with the black patches on their eyes. It's hard. They can't do that because you can't do that to Black women in the Black community. Black women, for the most part, you can't call them sexist because they're women. You can't call them racist because they're Black women, and they typically deal with two forms of prejudice, both sexism and racism. If you piss them off, you're gonna lose them forever. They'll never forget. They'll never let a vendetta die. You will never ever be forgiven ever again. I'm just saying that. So they have to use this. They have to practice with kid gloves. And so they throw these Black Democrat women out there as though they're made of Teflon. But what ends up happening is now you like, oh, no, this F word didn't, no, this B didn't. And that's what you saw the other sister said. Now this sister's more rational. So this is what's going on. You really have something dramatic going on in the Black community. Again, most men vote Republican. And so the fact that 21% of Black men have come to their senses and is doing what the rest of the men are doing in America makes a lot of sense. But it's hard for them to corral us back and shame us and make us afraid when you got Black women say, hell, I'm with them too. You know, so let's keep listening to the sister.
Even though they're giving the money to, obviously, these lawmakers who are compounding their money exponentially by the year. Jasmine Crockett is saying that America is not in the business of giving money to its citizens. What? But she could be fighting for us to be getting more money. The argument could have been, instead of 20% of the savings going back to the American people, why is it not 50% of the savings going back to the American people? Why is it not 70% of the savings going back to the American people? No, that was not her argument. She said, what can $5,000 do? And she said they're not in the business of giving us money. $5,000 could do a whole lot for a whole lot of people, actually. $5,000 could do a lot for me. I know that. That's helping somebody get out of credit card debt. That's 6 months of somebody's car payment. That's childcare. That's groceries. That's repairs around the house. That's healthcare, medical bills. $5,000 can actually be pretty life-changing for the average American. But Jasmine Crockett is not the average American, nor does she care about the average American. I don't know when y'all gonna pick that up.
Yeah, and so you see, you got a lot of Black women coming out the box, and a lot of these politicians don't know what to do. They don't want to. They can't go in there and say, "Oh, y'all just you black." Black men have been the whipping boy of America for so many centuries. They can damn near say anything. We could be right on point, and they will have you believing that you're the one that's wrong. Okay, and typically brothers have pretty much done things on their own. But see, now we got a different, it's a different day, to say the least. And when I say it's a different day, sisters are coming out the box, and they're not by themselves. Listen to this.
Bringing out the racism in the life.
I got the wrong one. Let me pull this one up. I want you to hear what this sister has to say. I'm sure y'all probably heard it before, but I think, let me see if I can get this in here.
Kind of crazy that y'all are really out there protesting to keep.
Oh, man, this sister, man. But anyway, I got some more for you guys. So bottom line is you got a lot of Black women out there who voted Republican. And that does not necessarily mean that they identify with everything the Republican Party says. I'm not a Republican. I am a lifetime Democrat. It's just that I could not continue to vote with the Republicans. They have not, I mean, the Democrats, they just have gone so far into weird world. Y'all can use that weird world that I'm like, I can't even identify with that anymore. Some of the stuff that these folks are doing, it's just at this point, it's like, man, I don't support that. You know, on top of that, I could not vote for Joe Biden based on his history of racism. And anybody with any good sense who has looked into this man's history and recognized what he's done and what he's done to Black people specifically, you should understand why no self-respecting Black man could do that. I just couldn't do it, you know. And you could say whatever you want to say, but the man is a flaming racist. Okay, all the way up until right now, he's unremitting. He's a flaming, bodacious, if you will, racist politician. And I'm talking about Segregation Joe. You understand what I'm saying? And I just couldn't do it. And so you just have to forgive me. Shout out to Quantum Solace. Let's go ahead and look at some more of this footage. This is one that I thought was interesting also as I was pulling the footage down from the internet. Y'all, let me see here. I thought this was pretty cool. Check this out, right?
You know, Black women are probably the least respected in America. Their voices aren't heard. Their issues aren't paid attention to. Many white women look beyond their own personal interests and they leave Black women out of the conversation. And I think America needs to change about that.
What are we not trusting them to do right now?
How to care for our country, how to care for each other, how to stand up and fight for things that aren't right.
Millions of Black women voted for Trump. Should we trust them?
And they leave Black women out.
You can see her brain thinking right there. Look, watch here.
Millions of Black women voted for Trump. Should we trust them?
Look, you can see her brain thinking right there. She like, oh, new information, process. She about to crash.
I'll take your
Oh man, I don't want to mess up my stuff. But let me see. Do you see that? She couldn't even register that. All right, let's see if we can get this to play again after that part. I don't want to get demonetized.
I'll take
Millions of Black women voted for Trump?
Way too many. It is.
Should we trust them?
So at least 7% of Black women who voted for Donald Trump, according to the exit polls, and that's a lot. Okay, that's a whole lot. All right.
I don't know.
Maybe not trust Black women then.
That's not true. I do trust Black women.
Who'd vote for Kamala Harris?
I think. He wants to know if I trust the Black women who voted for Trump.
I think they voted against their own interests, so it's really hard to put the idea of trust together with someone who.
Somebody typed help in the chat room. Help! She had to call for you. What is that line? The Jeopardy. She had to call for a line. She had to use a phone call to get some help.
It's continuing to vote against themselves, right?
So it sounds like they don't have very good judgment.
Yeah, I'm not sure that it's not having good judgment. I don't think they necessarily connect the dots, and I do.
They're stupid.
No, they're not stupid, but I think it's.
That's just what you said.
No, I'm just asking but it is hard to trust people who are stupid and have bad judgment, right? And Black women who vote for Trump are stupid and have bad judgment.
We did not say that.
That's what you said.
They don't connect the dots, and so they're looking at only certain things and thinking that's important, and not connecting the dots.
It sounds like those Black women need to be educated by white women like you.
Yeah, not
true. Not
they just need a good white woman to come in and tell them what's up.
You're putting words in our mouths again, and you're trading it.
Sorry, I don't mean to do that.
This idea that white people are going to be the white saviors pisses me off.
But if white women like you don't educate them, how are they ever going to learn to vote the way that they're supposed to vote?
You know, as a white woman, I'm happy to help educate and talk to people, but it's not my job to go convince somebody else.
I hope you're able to get through to some of those untrustworthy, stupid Black women. Good luck.
Boy, he had them caught up, boy. He just, golly, he had them all kind of tongue twisters. You understand what I'm saying? And so that's what's going on, right? And so they can't do it. They got to send black folks out there to tell you who to vote for, right? And this chick right here, listen to her again. You
in the business of giving out money. Honestly, I don't know what $5,000 will do for you.
Honestly, I don't know what $5,000 will do for you.
Jasmine, baby girl, I have a really serious question for you.
Hey, what? Now you
How was you cool? The
business of giving out money, and honestly, I don't know what $5,000 will do for you.
Bitch, if you don't shut your fucking pie hole.
Family
First
friendly.
and foremost, it is the taxpayers' money. Where the fuck do you think it came from?
Shout out to Quantum.
You're not in the business of giving money out? Well, where the fuck was that attitude when you were giving it all to the fucking migrants? Yeah, y'all motherfuckers did.
Family friendly.
President Trump calls for an investigation to find out who in the government has been receiving kickbacks from USAID. And the fine employees at Doge have stated congressional audits shows 3 Democrat senators have gained more than $20 million in net worth, each with no plausible explanation, which means that when asked, they have no idea how they got that money in their bank accounts.
I want you to understand something. You have a job that pays you $200,000 a year. Okay, all y'all math. Let's get some math people together in the front. You have a job that pays you $200,000 a year. And you've been working at your job 5 years, full time. Somebody type full time, whole time, type whole time. Okay. And somehow, some kind of way, right? Some kind of way, you ended up with $12 million in your bank account or in property. And then when somebody comes up and says, well, you make $200,000 a year, ma'am. Hold on, let me do it right. Hold on. Give me a minute. Let me see something. Here we go. you according to our paperwork, you make $200,000 a year. Yet and still, your bank balance and your property and holdings indicate that you have $12 million a year. And then they said, now where did you get that money from? Please tell me. And they say, I don't know. That's basically what these senators are saying. I don't know where it came from. I don't know where the money came from. I just went to my bank and it was right there. And then I just have it as business sometimes, but I don't know where it came from. That's basically what they saying. I don't know. I don't know. You want me to add my Bible? I can add my Bible where it came from. I don't know. For me, I don't know. That's how stupid they sound. That's how stupid they sound right there. I don't know. I don't know where it came from. I don't know. That's what they said. Like you gonna go to prison for that?
They said, and I quote, their wealth just appeared. Yeah. And because of that, the files have been turned over to Pam Bondi at the Justice Department.
Now.
Wealth just appeared, huh?
That's one white woman you don't want to mess with. Let me tell you something. You better leave Pam Bondi alone. She put everybody in jail. She got that look in her eyes. She ain't playing. You better leave that white woman alone. That's a bad white woman right there. Shoot. Pam Bondi from Florida too. Woo, she about to put the fire across the back of your backside. She gonna put all the laws on you. She'll make up laws to put on you. Okay? All right. I just need y'all to know. Okay. I just need y'all to go ahead and listen.
I mean, from USAID, right? So let me know what you think about this entire situation. If found guilty on taking taxpayer money to make their own pockets fatter, what kind of consequences do you think any of these people should get? Let me know in the comments what we should do to those who steal from the American citizens.
Can everybody in the chat room write prison? In the chat room, everybody write jail, whatever your preference may be, whether you've been to prison or jail. Y'all know what I'm talking. Prison or jail. That's your options. Go ahead. Yes, Lord. But this is what's going on. How can you expect as much money as we have had stolen for us? Now you telling us they stealing our tax dollars? Oh no. Y'all want us to do this? This is what us to do. No. It's time for some change. Okay? It's time for some change. They are out here stealing our tax dollars. And you got these Democrat folk, these overseers, who want y'all to say, no, keep voting for them. Heck no. First of all, voting for a Democrat right now, and I'm not saying there's not some Democratic politicians who are great politicians, but voting for the Democrats right now, especially on the federal level, you would be a fool to do it right now. I'm not saying that we might not vote for them in the future, or we haven't voted for them in the past, like in this past election, but I'm saying right now, they are crooked as a roach leg. Crooked as a roach leg. Listen to the brother. Listen to the brother speak some more.
Was Oprah dumb when she was hanging out with that racist? Was Whoopi Goldberg dumb when she was hanging out with that racist? So when did he become a racist? When they told you he was. Was he a racist? And was he a problem for Hillary Clinton when he stood up at Chelsea Clinton's wedding? When he was golfing with Bill Clinton for years? Make it make sense. Oh, and again, this is not me advocating for Donald Trump, but I need to give you an example that you cannot argue. People are upset because Donald Trump's a racist because he took out an $85,000 ad in the newspapers against the Exonerated Five, formerly known as the Central Park Five. Right? That's a problem. That's problematic because he said they needed to get the death penalty.
Yeah.
You know what everybody leaves out of that conversation? Two things. The first is all we had was the information that was being presented to us on the news at the time. And at the time, all that information said that we got them. We got these kids. They ain't say nothing about rounding them up or how they rounded them up or this, that, and the third. They sat up there and they present. Go look at forget me. Go look at Ava DuVernay's Netflix movie. Go look at all the documentaries made about these guys. Now, here's the gag. At the time when Donald Trump did that, he was a registered Democrat. Not only that, he was a private citizen. Not only that, the district attorney, the assistant district attorney, the chief of police, the mayor, all of them happened to be Democrats. But that didn't stop anybody from dealing with the fact that they paraded them brothers up on that stage at the DNC in 2024 like, oh, Donald Trump's the problem. Oh, but I didn't hear any of them issue an apology for what they did to railroad those boys for a decade and some change.
Fair use.
How does that make sense? Matter of fact, one of the assistant prosecutor is still a huge donator, a huge donor to the Democratic National Convention, Democratic National Committee. So I'm trying to understand how that makes sense. And then, by the way, where's all your smoke for these corporations that were buying $1 million suites at the DNC? You care about Black life so much. Why were you okay with them having abortion mobiles a block away from the Democratic National Convention? If we're going to talk about preserving life, if we're going to talk about racism, we're going to talk about systemic things, you have to talk about it regardless of who you like or who has the best PR or who says the things you don't like. That's my issue. Y'all know for a fact Joe Biden was a racist, always been a racist. And the only reason he was vice president under Obama is because they...
Or who you think likes you the most. Okay, shout out to Quantum Solace. Not just who likes you, but also who you think likes you the most. And I'm going to roll it back because I want the brother to say that again. Hit the number one.
Or who says the things you don't like. That's my issue. Y'all know for a fact Joe Biden was a racist, always been a racist. And the only reason he was vice president under Obama is because they wanted to balance the ticket. So if you put a Negro in there, let's make sure we put somebody who was mentored by Strom Thurmond, who eulogized Robert Byrd, who was an exalted Cyclops in the Klan. Oh, you mean the guy who said that Barack Obama was a, what was the word? Oh, the first mainstream, clean, articulate Black person?
Clean Negro. Clean.
Excuse me?
Somebody
that was okay?
Somebody typed clean Negro in the chat room. He was a clean Negro. That's what old Joe Biden said.
Oh, you can't get a Dunkin' Donut unless you got a little Indian in you.
Oh,
he said that. You're okay with that. You're okay with Hillary Clinton being a Goldwater girl, who was a card-carrying racist and segregationist, who also said, we need to bring them to heel. Them meaning you and me, because we were teenagers at the time when she said that, and she was the first lady. So is racism a problem, or is racism with the right amount of PR a problem? When is it just, hey, this is wrong, and it needs to be wrong? Oh, but he apologized for it. Yeah, but his apology don't do nothing for the 30-plus years of racist policies that have affected us. But then again, when you got somebody creating a First Step Act getting these people out for nonviolent drug offenses. You got Kim Kardashian. And I can't stand Kim Kardashian neither. You got her advocating for more black people than I see black people are advocating for black people. Not making a bunch of noise on the Senate floor. Not pontificating on somebody's podcast. Literally taking their time, money, energy, and efforts and putting it out there. So I'm trying to understand, when is it enough that we hold everybody accountable, not the people they just tell you to like?
I mean, and I don't see anything wrong with what the brother said, but just shout out to Jamal Roll. And just so you all can know, this is what they're doing with our money. I don't know if you guys saw this, but I played it a couple of times. Listen to this, sister. This is what they're doing with our money.
Do any of you all even still like America anymore?
Talk to them, baby.
I'm talking about the people who are complaining about Doge. The fact that y'all are bitching and complaining about the fact that we are finding out that our government has been laundering money and spending it on stupid shit for years is beyond me. Beyond me. Ain't no way in hell that y'all could be okay with the government spending money on this shit that they've been spending money on.
How many of you black folks are okay with the Democrat? You might be a Democrat, okay? You might be a Democrat. You might be a lifelong Democrat like myself, but you're not okay with them blowing our money on this foolishness. Listen to the sister speak. Listen.
I know y'all didn't okay this. Do y'all want to hear what the hell they've been spending money on? I'm quite sure that y'all have heard samples. Well, here, let me give you a couple of more bites. $7 million on various projects studying magic. $1.5 million to use kittens in a study to analyze motion sickness. $6.9 million studying smart toilets that recognize the user's anal print. $2.3 million to inject dogs with cocaine. $118,000 to study if a metal replica robot, Thanos, by the way, it's for Marvel Comics Thanos. I know everybody knows who Thanos is. Could really snap his fingers.
We do, you know him.
Could really snap his damn fingers. The glove on. The Infinity Glove with the Infinity Stones. $75,000 in grants on a Harvard study on lizards blowing off trees with a damn leaf blower. With a leaf blower. That little squirrel couldn't even live his best life last year. Y'all had to take that little squirrel.
I want you to look at that black woman's look right there. Okay, when you got a black woman with her head cocked like this, she's looking into your soul. She's looking into your soul. You hear that? She ain't blinking either. Look, I'm gonna turn away. If somebody looking at me like that, I'm not gonna look. You see how she looking? She means this with her whole heart, what she's saying. And there's a lot of other black women out there. You out here trying to pay your electricity bill, and you got to pay them damn taxes and trying to get your tax refund. And apparently, they're blowing your money on giving cocaine to dogs. Okay, it's a lot of people that might need a little cocaine. Not me, I don't do that. But I can tell you that dogs don't need cocaine. Okay, dogs are rambunctious. You know, they do wild stuff without the cocaine. They natural. They got a natural high. Anybody who's had all my dog owners out there, don't give your dogs cocaine. Why are we giving dogs cocaine? Why are we throwing kittens in the dryer? Okay, and then pulling them out and putting them on the ground to see what their motion sickness look like. Why would you do that to a kitten anyway? Huh? What about these lizards? Why are we putting lizards on the side of trees and then getting a blower to blow the damn trees off, the lizards off? Why would we do that? Why are we doing this? All these little animals like that. Well, what are we doing here? Where's Peter? Where's Peter at when we need it? Okay, but we're gonna let the sister finish. I just want you to look in her eyes. Just look in her eye. She means every bit of what this is rage behind those eyes. This, when you see a woman looking at you like all you young brothers out there, if you come in your house and your woman got her head cocked like that, I can't even do it. If she got her head cocked like that, you just need to ease on up out of there. It's over. She already know. Okay, her friend told her that they saw you, okay, down at the Walmart subway with your side chick. And she just waiting for you to come in the house so she can go and confirm that. Okay. She know what you had. Y'all split the sub sandwich because you know you ain't had no money. You got the Doritos, she got the baked Lays, she got the Diet Sprite. Even though she big, I don't know why she doing diet. She look like she weighed 250, but she know already. Okay. She probably already got the security footage of you down there with your side chick. So it's just time for you to go ahead and recognize that you're going to go ahead to go back to your mom's house, sleep on the couch till things sort themselves out. Okay? That's what this look is. So let's let the sister go ahead and finish, letting us have. Go ahead, baby. Go ahead.
Out. But y'all want to blow lizards off trees.
That's what they want to do.
Leaf blowers. Y'all from Harvard. $611,000 to evaluate microaggression among Latinx individuals with obesity. 87,944 on the role of the estrous cycle and nucleus accumbens signaling on incubation of oxycodone cravings in female rats.
Rat period. Rat period.
Not to mention in 2023, we spent $150.7 billion on the people who are currently protesting and burning our flags right now.
Yes, flag burners.
Yeah. At this point, if you don't like America, you could really leave.
Yeah.
You could
leave. They let them go.
Because everybody right now who was doing these press conferences, including Chuck Schumer's creepy looking ass, all of their asses was probably eating good off of this little global laundromat that they've been doing.
They were doing, baby.
Like I said, you're more than welcome to pack the fuck up and leave our
country. The language, family law. God, dog, family friendly. I said, Lord Jesus, she snuck that one in on me. But anyway, okay. Well, are we still here with us? Are we here? Is everybody still here? I hope y'all still here. Okay, I don't want to run y'all. Okay, I just want to speak to you with some good old fashioned common sense. Okay, that's all I want to do. I just want to speak to you with some common sense. Okay, because if anything, before we had book sense, black folk, we had common sense. We have never lost two things. We've never lost our love for God, and we have never lost our common sense. Right here, no matter what they did to us, they stripped us of our language, they stripped us of our names, our heritage, but we still maintain both common sense and in the Lord in our hearts. Whether we call them whatever name we call, we still got them. What have they been trying to do? Okay, they've been trying to make us feel like now all that, right? Somebody type $5,000. Somebody type cut the check in the chat room because I want my money. All right. Shout out to Quantum Solace. Man, Quantum Solace, you done came through with the super chats heavy, man. Appreciate you, fam. So much. Thank you so much. I appreciate y'all. And I said this already. I need y'all to hit the subscribe button. I need you to hit the like button. Okay. You don't have any requirements. If you want to give me a super chat, it's because you learned something. If you want to give me a cash app, it's because you learned something. If you don't learn something, you don't owe me anything because that means I need to do my job better. All right. But I do require that everybody who comes through here, okay, hits that like button and hits that subscribe button because y'all can't cheat, Uncle D. I got to get to where I got to get. Now, that being the case, okay, so let's get on back to the lesson. Y'all going to learn some heavy stuff tonight. I'm going to warp your minds, okay, and I'm going to lay it all out there and you'll see what I mean. Somebody type $5,000 in the chat room. Somebody type cut the check in the chat room. I want my money. I don't care what part of the government it comes from. I want my money. They've been getting their money. I want my money. Now, that said, they've been trying to scare us into believing that what we see happening right now is somehow bad. Shout out to my man, Lance Jackson, because Donald Trump is a racist. Okay. And I spoke about this last night. We are living in a racially charged environment. Whether Donald Trump is a racist or not is irrelevant. Because the racist thinks he's a racist. Okay, you have people who are empowered. Okay, that's not what we're dealing with. Now we're gonna get straight to it. Is Donald Trump a racist? Okay, and here's the other thing, does he have racist sentiments? Shout out to LJ. I would think that you have to look at this man's public life because that's what we're basing it on, right? The critics, they cite a whole evidentiary trail of him being racially insensitive. You see, even though this man has a whole set of engagements and acknowledgments with the Black community as indicator of his commitment to helping Black people. Now, let's start with the stuff that they throw out. The brother mentioned this. I'm gonna hit it a little harder. The Central Park 5 in 1989. I remember this. I was 12. All right. There was an incident where you had a lot of young Black and brown kids, mostly Black and Puerto Rican. They did something called wilding. They would just run up through the park and just be wilding. You know, all my people from New York, y'all remember that. K Green. Look, New York is not the New York it is. New York is not what it was. When I was young, New York was like, you go to Times Square, man, you had hookers, prostitute, peep shows, drugs, gangs. New York was what's up. In all those nice parts of New York, none of that was there. Brooklyn was shot out. The Bronx was shot out. Not a place. The roaches were big as Volkswagen bugs, okay? It was a horrible place to be. Not anywhere you want to go through. So it was what it was. Now, of course, you had the elite. Nevertheless, you had some kids who they called them the Central Park 5 in 1989, and we got them. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got them, right? And you know, the city was tired of it. And so Trump was like, yeah, he took a full page ad out. He spent about $85,000. He took a newspaper ad out saying we need to reinstate the death penalty. You know what I'm saying? People can't walk through the park. You got these wild kids out here. You know what I'm saying? Keeping in mind, in 1965, we opened up the floodgates. You had a lot of immigrants who formerly weren't in New York, and now they're coming to New York from these Black and brown countries in the Caribbean. So keep that in mind. It's the first generation. All right, the baby boomers from those Caribbean countries came through. They had children. So this is the Generation X children, right? This first round. I just want you to keep in mind. I'm not saying it was not foundational Black American kids involved in that, but I'm saying when they start talking about Black and Latino, 5 Black and Latino teenagers, you oftentimes talk about people who not necessarily from foundational Black American culture. But that being the case, let's lay that down. All right. And I'm not blaming any one group or another for this. Kids are bad everywhere. But what they were accused of was assaulting a jogger in Central Park. Okay. But I lay that foundation to explain that New Yorkers in general were recognizing that the city was changing. Okay. It wasn't just Irish, Italian, Black folk from South Carolina and the South, white. It wasn't just that. You had this influx of a lot of immigrants. Shout out to Johnny Harris. Nevertheless, people were tired of it. And so Trump was like, man, go ahead and put that death penalty on them. And then they were exonerated in 2002, about 11 years later. And Trump said, I still think they're guilty. He just didn't back down. Okay. All right. The thing you have to understand is these folks, you blaming Trump, who was a Democrat at the time. He took an ad out in the paper. But if you want to talk about a racist system, who was running it at the time? Who was the mayor? A Democrat. Who was a prosecutor? A Democrat. Those are the ones that chose to do it. So if Trump is a racist, then so were those other Democrats. Now, the other thing is the birther conspiracy theory that he popped up with when Barack Obama was the president. Some people say it's false. The truth is, I don't really know. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know. You see what I mean? I saw him as a Black man. I voted for him because he was Black. I know that sounds bad, but it is what it is. Shout out to Praying for Alicia. If there's something there, it's something there. I don't really care. I don't know. Some people say it's racism. I just think Trump talks about everybody. This man called George Bush. He called George Bush's brother. What did he call Jeb Bush? Call him some kind of stupid. He talks about everybody. I mean, he just picks it. He just like a kid on the playground. He just talk about, he be roasting. It's a typical New York dude. He talks about everybody. He's loud. I don't want to confuse racism, real racism, with somebody capping. Shout out to Gloria Sabry. You understand what I'm saying? Lil Marco, he talked about the Cuban dude. He talked about everybody. He probably be around there talking about his own kids. I know he probably talked about that little tall boy he got that seemed like he autistic. He talking about everybody. Okay, and then what did he say about the Mexicans coming up here, the presidential campaign? He said Mexican immigrants, Trump said that basically they're not sending, shout out to Corey Smith, they're not sending their best people, okay? They're sending criminals and rapists, okay? That's what he said. You remember that? He said that. And somebody said that was racist. And then my question is, let's fast forward to 2024, all right? And let's look at some of the people that have made it up through the border, okay? I'm just saying, let's take a poll. All of these people who walked up, all the people in my chat room, if you think that Mexico sent its best people to the United States, type yes in the chat room or just put Y. If you think Mexico sent its worst people, type no. I'm sorry, if you think it sent its best people, type yes. If you think it didn't, type no. All right. In other words, if you think they sent a bunch of criminals and folk up here and they didn't send their best people, type no, they didn't send their best people. Okay. And that goes for Venezuela. Do you think Venezuela sent their doctors and lawyers and PhD candidates and master's degree holders up here? Did they send a bunch of carpenters and electricians and plumbers? Because all I see is a bunch of Trinidad Wagwas taking over doggone apartment complexes. Okay, so was he right? Was he wrong? All right, is he racist? I don't know. It looked to me like there was some truth in what he said about generally the immigrants that were coming, especially considering the information that's coming out that those countries in South America literally opened up their prison cells and insane asylums and send those folks over. And it's not the first time it's happened to America, to a weak Democrat candidate. Look at the Mariana boat lift when Cuba, Jimmy Carter, who just passed away, basically said, hey, we're going to let Cubans come up here and just go over there and get your relatives. So he told all the Cubans in Havana, go over there and get your relatives. This is back in 1979. And so they went over there to get their relatives. All these people went over there in their little boats from Cuba and Florida to go get their relatives and pick them up and bring them back. And as soon as they showed up at the shore, Castro said, okay, empty out all the prisons. And he made these people who floated their boats from Florida to Cuba take these criminals and thugs back with them. You understand what I'm saying? Ain't that some cold pimping? He said, yeah, I know you came over here to pick up your abuela, but you about to take Mario, Jose, and all these dudes over here who we had locked up in our prisons. And he made them take them back. And that's how we ended up with all that crime going on in South Florida for all those years. Shout out to Real Talk. You see what I'm saying? Anyway, let's go ahead and that's happened before where we've opened the floodgates and said, yeah, bring your poor and all that. And they send a bunch of crooks and criminals. Yeah, the movie Scarface talks about that. The other thing, the Muslim ban back in 2015, some people say that was racist, total ban. It wasn't a total ban on all Muslims. It was a total ban on certain countries. Is it racist? I don't know. Maybe it is. Okay, but at the time period, it was looking like it might be necessary. What about these Charlotte remarks? Charlottesville, y'all remember Charlottesville? What did he say? He said, I condone the racists. This is Charlottesville remarks in 2017. He condoned the racists. He condoned those people down there picking on folk because of their race. He said they're very fine people on both sides. And then they cut the quote off right there. And so when you listen to the whole quote, okay, look, I mean, what else do you want the man to say? Just everybody down there is a horrible person. Maybe they are, but that would not be a good thing for a politician who is the president to say, because once you start putting people in categories, they stop listening to you. Now, the other thing we're going to talk about, and excuse my language, he referred to several countries as shithole countries. If y'all want to list the countries, he was specifically talking about African nations. Now, since that time period, I've had the opportunity to do some research, okay, on what he was saying when he was referring to shithole countries, okay? I'm going to go and see if I can find this research, okay, which demonstrates specifically what the brother was talking about. I'm going to do my best to try to find it right quick. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it within due time, but we'll get it pulled up, okay? My staff is not fully attuned with you know, what we trying to do here, but I'll do my best to try to pull that out of my archives because I've done some extensive research on the shitholes that he was referring to. Understand what I'm talking about? And I want to make sure that we got our course.
Africa as a whole is like far underdeveloped, but it costs way more than being here. Like you would be shitting in the ground. It won't even be a toilet, and you'll be paying the same prices I pay right now. I'm not even fucking exaggerating.
Oh yeah, excuse the language. I'm so sorry.
There was a 1-bedroom apartment.
I'm sorry. Did y'all hear that? This is what he said.
Way more than being here. Like you would be shitting in the ground. It won't even be a toilet, and you'll be paying the same prices I pay right now. I'm not.
My bad. Shout out to all my African brothers and sisters. We do not like you, Dennis Spurling. You are not our friend. We do not like you. We forget you. Okay? We don't like you. You are Mazugu deep down on the inside. I know you are. All right, nah, man, that's not what he meant. But apparently they are pooping in holes over there. Okay, apparently, according to Austin Holloman, they're pooping in holes, but that's not what he meant. Hope you know, yeah, that was racist. Yeah, Trump, that was racist. Him calling the African country shithole country, that was pretty damn racist. I'm gonna just give it to him. That was racist, but but y'all are over there pooping in holes. Okay, now it was racist. Okay, it was racist.
Ground. It won't even be a toilet, and you'll be paying the same prices I pay.
I'm saying because Austin Holloman is black,
but it costs way more than being here.
Okay.
Like you would be shitting in the ground. It won't even be.
Okay, so Austin Holloman said y'all do be pooping in the holes over there. Okay, but yeah, that was racist. Okay, so we're gonna Trump. That was racist to call all those African nations. Did he also call Haiti a shithole country? That's racist. You being racist, Donald Trump. Okay, I just want you to know that. All right. Then he attacks a minority congressman in 2019, and he what do they call it? The squad. He said, "Go back to your totally broken, crime-ridden, infested places that you came from." That was pretty racist too, and sexist. I'm gonna give it to you. That was racist and sexist. Okay, Trump. Who was he talking about? Elian. What's her name? Elian Lam Lam. I don't forget her name. Elian La La. And he was talking about AOC and all the other ones. Shout out to Quantum Solace. That was sexist. Yes, that was pretty sexist, and it was racist. I'm gonna get it. That's what it is. Let's give it to him. Okay, let's give it to him. All right, it is what it is. All right, Omar. Yeah, it was racist. Go back to Somalia, even though y'all government is somewhat lacking over there. Now, the other thing we have to understand is the man is a mixed bag. All right, we gotta talk about all of it. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and put Austin Holloman back down in case I need him again. I'll bring him back up just if we need to talk about any poop holes again. But let's look at the fact that in 1986, he won the Ellis Island Medal of Honor. I'm talking about Donald Trump, okay? And he received the award alongside Rosa Parks and Muhammad Ali. He was honored and recognized for his contributions to New York's business landscape, specifically his civil rights effort. I just want y'all to keep that in mind, okay? Look at the references to Donald Trump in hip hop. So for all these years, all right, he was always frequently mentioned in rap lyrics. He was a symbol of wealth and success. Shoot, man, I mean, he was just everywhere. He was cool, you know what I mean? Over the years, you even had a lot of black public figures who expressed support, like Mike Tyson and all these other people who say, yeah, man, he always made sure I had money. And now let's look at that. So that's just his private life before he entered office. All right. And you got a mixed bag there. Okay. He calls them African country shitholes. That was racist. But at the end of the day, he ain't the only, it ain't just because you
like far underdeveloped, but it costs way more than being here. Like you would be shitting in the ground. It won't even be a toilet, and you'll be paying the same prices I pay right now.
So Austin Holloman said, Africa, you got to shit in the hole, and Trump came along and said it's a shithole country. I'm saying, but we'll give it to him. Trump, okay, that was racist. Trump, that was very racist. You said some sexist things and some racist things. But the question is now, what about his policies? When we look at the First Step Act, Trump signed this bipartisan criminal justice reform, and it was aimed at reducing recidivism and modifying the sentencing laws. Okay. And approximately 90% of people who benefited from those reductions were Black Americans, both men and women. Man, I got something else I want to share. Did you know one of the first things Donald Trump did when he got, let me show y'all, it speaks for itself. I want to show y'all this, okay? While we labeling this dude and saying what he is and what he ain't. Let me see if I can pull this up real quick. Look at this, man.
Look at mama. Look at mama. Look at us.
Look. She just been released from federal prison. Joe Biden put her in jail for protesting in front of a baby deletion clinic. Donald Trump gave her a pardon.
I got your jacket.
Yeah.
Look at that.
You still smell good. You still smell good. It don't matter if you're in the pit of hell. No. Somebody gonna smell good. No. Girl, you know how you gonna say. All right.
Got a baby. Yeah.
My baby.
Okay.
Oh my God. Goo. You miss your mommy? You miss your mommy? I miss you. I miss you so much. I miss you, Goo. Give me a kiss. Y'all. Oh my God. I'm home. I'm free. I'm free, y'all. I'm free. I'm really free.
You free, baby. You free. Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Jesus. The Lord is good.
Amen.
The Lord is good. Right, boo boo? Oh, Jesus. Let me get in the car. Let's go.
Yeah, get out of there, baby. Get on out of there. Get on out of there, girl. Get on to the house. Get on up out of there.
All right, we out.
Yeah, you out. Donald Trump signed that black woman's pardon. Joe Biden put her in jail. So, you know, we can look at all these other things, but I don't think she cares whether or not Donald Trump called Africa, some African countries a shithole country. I don't think she cares. And so the bottom line is, hey, you know, what about this First Step Act? You know, what about the funding for historically black colleges and universities? I mean, he signed the Future Act in the law, and it made it permanent, making permanent $255 million annual funding to HBCUs, permanent, okay? And it increased the federal Pell Grant program. What about the opportunity zones? In 2017, he established under the Tax Cut and Jobs Act, zones aimed to spur economic development in distressed communities. Many of them have significant black population, so you pay less taxes in this particular area. All right, and again, y'all saw where he pardoned Alice Johnson in 2018, and she was given a life sentence. A black woman, she was convicted of a nonviolent drug charge, and she spent years in prison under the same Joe Biden crime bill, okay? And here's the cold part about it. The man just appointed that same woman the pardon czar to advise him on clemency issues. So she basically an in-house Harriet Tubman in the White House. You understand what I'm saying? And then we just saw the other day, he established the National Garden of American Heroes. Now I want you to think about this. Here's the list of American heroes, okay? Harriet Tubman, Rosa Parks, Muhammad Ali. I think they got W.E.B. Du Bois in there and a couple of others. But the bottom line is this is the American heroes that he's acknowledging. So, okay, let's say he said some racist stuff. He did some racist stuff, and it was a whole issue with the people in the housing, and he didn't want them folk living there. Okay, I get it. Understand. All right. There's some other little individual acts of kindness. There's a story that came out back in 1998 where Trump reportedly allowed a homeless woman to live in Trump Tower for free of charge for years after learning she had just taken shelter there. Black woman, homeless black woman. He found out there's a woman living in one of the condos upstairs. He's like, well, okay, well, let her stay. Isn't that something? And make sure she gets 3 meals a day and clean her room. So, I'm saying, all right, he said some racist stuff. He done some racist stuff. Okay, cool. There's another story. Nelson Mandela and his folk, they couldn't get a plane to bring them from South Africa to the United States to the United Nations. Donald Trump apparently found out about it, and he made arrangements. He made it happen. I'm not saying he did it for free, but he made it happen. All right, so that's what I know about him. And based on that, folks are cherry picking stuff out of that and saying, well, he's racist. Maybe he is. Maybe I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But my question to you all is, does it matter? Does it matter if Donald Trump did racist things in his past? Because, see, let me tell you where I'm coming from. And if you've been here long enough, you already understand. I'm a realist. I'm a very practical person. I am very pragmatic. I truly believe that this country's racism is as American as apple pie. And in fact, I would suggest that white people aren't the only people who are prone to racism. I would argue that racism is just someone's strongly held beliefs, and it's not germane to just one ethnic group. Whether we're talking about white Latinos, we know they're racist. We learned that. They racist against Afro-Latinos. Hell, they got to be racist against themselves, since they have this whole movement called Better the Race, which means I don't like myself. I need to make myself better. So you looking down on yourself. Think about that. Whether we talking about tribalism or racism against Africans and versus other, hell, they sold our black behinds into slavery because they said we weren't even their brothers. So they see us as the other. And you got racism from the Caribbeans and the Africans directed to the foundational Black Americans. You can call it prejudice. You can call it racism. You can call it bigotry. To me, it all comes from the same place. I think I'm better than you. I think you are less than me. You understand what I'm saying? We practice intraracial racism amongst us. So all you black folk out there, some of y'all say some of the most racist stuff in your minds and the people. Let them push the wrong button. You can hurl some racial epithets at every ethnic group. You got white folk, you can hurl them at other black folk, Asians, Latinos. These are your strongly held beliefs. And as far as Asians, they don't escape either. Asians are racist against other Asians. The Japanese and the Chinese, racism. The Pakistanis and the Indians, racism towards each other. We ain't been involved in that. You understand what I'm saying? And all of them practice anti-black racism. Okay? So I want you to think about that when we start talking about who's racist and who's not. But y'all still go to them people's food and eat their tacos on Tuesday. You still going over there to get that masala. You going over there to get that masala, ain't you? Y'all ain't passed up a Jamaican restaurant yet and not asked for some oxtails. And they don't like your culture, but you like their food. So I'm asking y'all, okay? Let's be honest. All right? All right? If racism is the question, how much does it really matter? See, my point is, if we as Black Americans have to rely on only non-racist people, if we only have to rely on only non-bigoted people to give us justice, then hell, if we had to wait for non-racist white people to get us out of slavery, we'd still be fighting for freedom. President Lincoln, the man who signed the Emancipation Proclamation. Somebody type Juneteenth. Half of y'all celebrate Juneteenth, don't even know where it came from. President Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation, and it was sometime during June in the teens, shout out to Real Talk Eugene, that black folk down in Texas found out about it, and they said, oh, we free. So that's why we have Juneteenth, bad date keeping. That's what happened. Nevertheless, the man said, this is President Lincoln, who's deemed one of the greatest presidents of all time, who basically said he prosecuted an open war against the southern states to stop slavery. Okay. Now some will say it was not because he wanted to preserve the Union. Yeah, well, there's some other ways you could have preserved the Union. But the bottom line is he harbored racist beliefs himself. Abraham Lincoln thought that black folks were inferior, but yet and still he signed that Emancipation Proclamation. Now, he's not the only racist president. I'm going to tell you my favorite racist white man who became president. Let me tell you, I know y'all like, where is this dude? I told you this is going to be a barn burner. I told you when we started, you might hate me when we finish, but you're going to learn something today. One of my favorite racist white men who became president was Harry S. Truman. Somebody type Truman in the chat room. This man was born in Missouri in 1884. Missouri is the most racist southern state that has ever existed. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to Terrence Cooper. Missouri. I never knew how racist Missouri was until I started reading about Missouri. Missouri. Okay? And look here. He was born in 1884 in the height of segregation. We talked about Reconstruction. White folk was reclaiming their land, right? They was like, we're going to get them back in the goddamn land. They whipped the whips back out. It was post-Reconstruction, right? This man had segregation in his bones. What? Are you kidding me? He was just like everybody else around him. Here's the call. He openly expressed racist views. He openly used the N-word regularly. Understand me? He had all the racial epithets you needed. He all of them. Look, man, Truman in his early life, in his political career, he openly used racist. He had racist attitude. I mean, this is the most racist, openly, God damn, like really? We just stepped back 100 years, okay? He used racial slurs. The man was he supported a judge in the 1920s who was a segregationist and a member of the KKK. That's what I'm talking about, right? And apparently he had joined the KKK. You see? This is what I'm saying. Well, let me run that back. I don't think if I said that shit. He was a member of the KKK. Okay, now he might not have been when he was in office, but this is what we're saying. Okay, and in his speeches, he expressed skepticism about the capabilities of black folk. In other words, he thought the black folks were inferior. Shout out to Penny Ford. You see? Think about that. This man was as a county judge, he was a member of the KKK. Can you imagine going in front of him? This is Harry S. Truman. This is our president. Okay, he didn't think black folk. He reinforced stereotypes. He probably putting us in jail left and right. Right? He did everything he could to play his part. He once stated that he believed in the superiority of the white race and often described African Americans, whom he didn't call us African Americans, in a derogatory name, which will not be said here on my YouTube channel. Okay. But this persisted all the way up through the presidency. In his early he was voted in as an open racist. You see what I mean? He was ambivalent towards civil rights. He didn't give a damn. You understand what I'm talking about? Not a hot damn. And then all of a sudden, on April 12th, 1945, President Franklin D. Roosevelt, who had basically got us all the way through World War II, had been in the presidency for years, died. All right. And Truman, who was his vice president for only 82 days, was now the president. And the war was in World War II was in its final stages. And he was trying to bring called an atomic bomb. All right. Now, the Germans quit. They were done. All right. We had occupied Germany, but we still, and all the troops have been relocated to the Pacific front. So we were fighting 2 wars, fighting Italy, the axis of evil is what they call it, okay? And you got Italy under control. Germany wasn't under control. I mean, you got Germany under control. And now, all of a sudden, he finds out with Japan, somebody saying, is the sound muted? Can you guys hear me? Are you guys saying the sound is muted? If you can hear me, hit the number 1 button. Y'all can't hear me? Lord Jesus. Can you guys hear me? Your audio is bad. Oh, no. Let me see here. We got to fix the audio. Is it better? Is the audio better? Hit the number 1 button if y'all can hear me. Check. It's going in and out. What? That ain't cool. I was in my bag. Let me see if I can fix this. Let me know if y'all can hear this. Hit the number 1 button. Let me know if you guys can hear this, if this is good. I'm going to run this real quick and see if we can situate this audio. Hit that. Go ahead.
It's a party going on. Hit the like, 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 hit the like. It's a party going on. We all looking at dinner. Spurling and subscribe. It only take you a minute. Hit the cash app, super chat, be a penny. One is real good, but 20 more will be plenty. Blizzard King pay a visit. Big Blast my witness. Appreciate the love that's black men doing business. Stand up, father and brother, lawyer is he. Hall of Fame game, he's known as Uncle D. Tell it just I be, representing for we. We know time is money, you learning and pay a fee. Know it's cold outside, but the podcast hot. Giving you a feeling that these others ain't got. Say it's cold outside, but the podcast hot. Giving you a feeling that these others ain't got. Yeah, know that the blizzard come through. Bundle up for the winner, know this hit. Darren Hay watch, views. Hit the like, you know that the blizzard come through. Bundle up for the winner, know just hit. Darren Hay watch, views. Hit the like, hit the like, hit the like.
We still look at all the beautiful music that we've created. That's what's on the inside of us. We are wonderful people. All right. Can you guys hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. My mic, my instrument's saying that I'm good. Is the sound better now? Is the sound better? Let me know if the sound is better. I was in my bag. I was about to jump on my soapbox. Is it better? Let me know if the sound is better. If you guys can hear me clearly, hit the number 1 button. All right. I see some ones in there. I had to reset the system. Out here working hard. All right. Did you hear the hand? Did you hear? Praise God. All right. We back. Nevertheless, so Truman, our racist president, my favorite racist white president, right? He found out that we had something called the atomic bomb, because, you know, they don't tell the vice president anything. His job is just to get in there and break ties in the Senate and, you know, be ready in case he got to step in the batter's box and take over the presidency. So after being a vice president for 82 days, he found out we had an atomic bomb. All right. Now, he got sworn in April, on April 12th. And on August 6th, approximately 4 months later, he prayed a couple of days beforehand and then dropped the bomb on Hiroshima, okay? And then gave him 3 more days and said, y'all ain't quit yet? All right, well, I'm gonna drop another bomb on Nagasaki on August 9th, 1945. He didn't give him a whole 72 hours. You gonna quit now or you gonna die? This resulted in 200,000 Japanese people dying. You understand what I'm saying? 200,000 Japanese people died because of him dropping that bomb. You understand what I'm saying? And what we have to understand is, my God, that's the first time that this sort of thing has ever happened. This is the first time that people have, it was a devastating decision. You know, you drop this on predominantly vast majority Japanese, Asian population. It underscores his racial attitudes. We would expect nothing less of him, would we? Right? And it brought the war to an end very swiftly. They was like, I will drop another one on you if you don't hurry up. Okay, you lucky that I didn't drop all of them that we have. You understand what I'm saying? Truman, President Truman, racist president, racist as heck. Member of the KKK, straight up card carrying, unapologetic. Member of the KKK, put you in jail, used the N-word in his speeches, got elected as a person who thinks that black folks are beneath him. You understand what I'm saying? Now, what happened in the aftermath of World War II? What happened? Somebody typed Sergeant Isaac Woodard in the chat room. He was shout out to Penny Ford. He was an African-American serviceman. He fought valiantly to defend our freedoms just like everybody else. He did. And Sergeant Woodard was on his way home as a veteran, and he was beaten and he was blinded simply for wearing his uniform. So the incident happened like this. It was on February 12th, 1946, down in Battsburg, South Carolina. And Sergeant Woodard was traveling home. He had a uniform on. He's on a Greyhound bus. And he was stopped. The bus was stopped by some local police after an argument with the bus driver. And the law enforcement officers, they basically dragged him up out of there. They beat him so bad and they left him permanently blind. They used their billy club to beat his eye out of socket. And so these injuries were so bad and this attack drew so much national outrage, it became a rallying point for civil rights advocates, okay? At that time, the whole country was still segregated. We talk about segregation. We talk about colored only. We might lynch you sort of situation. This is what we going on. And we got a racist president who uses the N-word openly in his speeches. You understand what I'm saying? But this veteran, this black veteran who just helped us win this war, okay? Right? So what ended up happening? This doggone president of ours, what do you think he did? This racist president that we have, this Harry S. Truman, uses the N-word in open everywhere, right? What do you think he did? What do y'all think he did? Probably did some more racist stuff, right? Like, well, he deserved it. Probably something like that. No, that's not what he did. Our racist president, Harry S. Truman, signed an executive order mandating the desegregation of the military. This is what he did. In response to what happened to Mr. Woodard, he said, we got to end this racism. Our racist president said, we got to end this racism. And I'm going to start with the military. All because one black man named Sergeant Isaac Woodard got beat up on his way home in South Carolina by some racist cops. And see, I want you to understand something. I still think as President Harry S. Truman was signing that, let me get my paper back. As he was signing that executive order, he was still racist as hell. You don't stop that type of racism, not from Missouri. I think Missouri and South Carolina like what and what for who's the most racist white man in the world, okay? Nevertheless, this racist president of ours, Harry S. Truman, who you probably had just used the N-word when he was signed, got to let these N-words free. He signed that executive order desegregating the military with his racist self. Now, why did he do that? He probably still had the same feelings about black folks. You can't change overnight. But the thing about him is peculiar. He himself served in the military in World War I. He held the rank of captain. He was in the field artillery. And his army exposed him. He might not know anything about being black, but he knows what it's like to be a soldier. He knows what it's like to walk around in your uniform. He knows firsthand, he knew firsthand to understand the service and sacrifice and the likely role that Sergeant Isaac Woodard played. Okay? I'm sure he witnessed some valor for some black folk while he was calling them the N-word. I'll be look at that N-word. Oh, you can run fast. They heard the stories. Okay? And I'm sure that he recognized the inherent contradictions of a segregated military serving in the nation that espoused democratic ideals. And this realization probably contributed to him to send in mind, this man just killed like 200,000 Japanese with the atomic. He was the one that signed the order to send the bombs. Keep in mind, this is the N-word president, Harry S. Truman. I want you to remember this name. If you don't remember no other name at all. All right. And I'm sure as he was signing that executive orders, he got a lot of God darn it. What in the hell are you doing, Harry? You signed you're putting the N-words in the rooms, in the bunks with the good white men. I'm sure it shocked the world. Okay? But see, here's what you have to understand. By doing that, it ignited a fire within the nation. Harry S. Truman, in July 1948, this action, this order mandating the desegregation of the armed forces, it was a landmark decision and it was a turning point in the United States. Martin Luther King couldn't do this. Shout out to Bobby Wood. Martin Luther King, they could march all they want to, but until you get some laws changed, nothing happened. And so now what? Now when you go to the military, it's an integrated military. So our young people are growing up, who going to the military, joining the military, and guess what? Now they're experiencing integration. Boys from South Carolina, the Panhandle of Florida, Alabama, Mississippi. You got a bunk with a black boy from Texas, a bunk with a black boy from Boston. And what happened? They all had to at least be treated equally. And I know it's prejudice there. I still know it's just like everywhere else. But see, what this did was, this was a turning point. Because see, this executive order didn't occur in a vacuum. It influenced the civil rights movement and the advocates. I mean, the military is desegregated. You telling me I can't eat at the lunch counter and the military is desegregated? And so these other folks use this as a jump point to go ahead and desegregate the whole of the entire United States. That's what happened. It was a catalyst. The desegregation of the military became a catalyst for the broader civil rights movements, and it paved the way for desegregation for what we do here today. Look, I'm gonna tell you again. Look, I'm absolutely certain that Harry S. F. them N-words Truman was racist as hell. He was racist from the day he realized what an N-word was to the day he died. I'm absolutely doggone certain of it. I'm certain of it. He was still racist. But despite his prejudices, his decision to desegregate the United States military, it marked a pivotal moment that initiated a cascade of events leading to what was basically the end of American apartheid. And the country remained, by contrast, the country remained segregated after Lincoln. George Washington didn't do nothing for it. We still getting whooped on. We went back to slavery after George Washington. But Truman's action in the military, it set a precedent for a broader societal change. And this reality underscores that a person's racist beliefs do not preclude them from making decisions that benefit Black Americans. You understand what I'm saying? On the group level and on the individual level. See, while deeply held beliefs can be difficult to change, I don't care if you don't change. I don't care what you do. You feel how you want to feel. Be the leader that I need you to be. Because see, being a leader requires you to set aside your own personal bias for the greater good. And Truman's journey through that complex way of thinking, it illustrates the potential for, you know, the leverage we need and the change we need. You understand what I'm saying? But his legacy challenges us to confront our own biases and commit. You might not like white folk, but you over there, you bet want that white man to fly your plane. I know that. You want an old white man to fly. Old white man about 35 years of experience. Okay, you do. All right, and it's a lot of other things. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, you could be racist as hell and still do stuff. And I'm not gonna say the man changed. I absolutely believe he was racist as hell, and he still died racist. Now here's another one for you to hit you in the mouth. I'm gonna hit you in the mouth all day today. Y'all gonna hate me when we get up out of here. I don't even care. Who founded the Ku Klux Klan? When was it founded? It's founded in 1865, right? In Pulaski, Tennessee, by a group of Confederate veterans. They like, we lost the war, but darn it, we might have lost that battle, but we gonna win. They call the white folks, you call it the War of Northern Aggression. They came down here and bombed our stuff, even though at Fort Sumter, it was the Confederates that launched the first cannon at the Northerners. But nevertheless, it was a key player in this with Nathan Bedford Forrest. Nathan Bedford, you know who that is? Y'all know? The Klan. Look, he is the Klan's Klan. You understand? All right. He is the one. The association, it was associated with Stone Mountain, Georgia. All right. Birth of America. Them guys, right? They heavily influenced that movie that came out in 1950. I think it was Woodrow Wilson that said he aired it in the damn White House, right? It glorified the KKK. And even Stone Mountain itself became a significant site for the Klan and its activities and rallies and stuff like that. Nathan Bedford Forrest. Do you know you really can't get more racist than found in the Klan, can you? Do y'all know anybody more racist than founding the Ku Klux Klan? Did y'all know that? I can't think of nobody worse than that. I cannot think of nobody worse, more racist. Certified. Stamp on them racist. You got it. You stamp. Okay. Now, did you know that later on in his life, I'm gonna say this, that his actions, his perspective shifted. So in 1869, about 4 years later, this man literally publicly denounced the Ku Klux Klan. Shout out to Penny Ford. Nathan Bedford Forrest, okay? He reported in 1869, he regretted some violence, the violence associated with the Klan. He no longer associated with them. He claimed he no longer did, right? And this was part of his effort to distance himself from the groups with their extreme actions. Advocacy, he started participating in advocacy for racial reconciliation in the 1870s, right? I just want you to think about this. I'm not saying he wasn't racist. I'm not even saying that. I'm just saying, my God, you've changed a little bit, sir. I'm just saying, okay? He literally began advocating for racial conciliation between whites and blacks. And in a speech in 1875, he emphasized the need for cooperation and mutual respect between the races and urged the Southern whites to accept their new social order post-Civil War. In other words, hey, this is Reconstruction. This is how it is. These people are equal. This is what Nathan Bedford Forrest said, one of the founders of the KKK. I'm just saying, this is it. You ain't got to like it. Look it up. This man even went so far in the 1870s, the early 1870s, and he lended his support for black education. And it became pronounced in the 1870s. He believed that educating African Americans was essential for our progress and for our overall recovery of the South. You understand what I'm saying? Shout out to Quantum Solace. And his later statements indicated a recognition that black citizens should have access to education. And mind you, these folk were telling us we shouldn't read just 10, 15 years before. You understand what I'm saying? In 1871, there was something called the Memphis Massacre. And although he did not directly participate, Forrest's leadership in the KKK prior to this event had created an atmosphere for racial violence. And in the aftermath of that tragedy, where many of our own people were unalived, he began to express an open desire for more peaceful coexistence. And that totally contrasted from the stuff that violent rhetoric he was spitting. This is Nathan Bedford Forrest. You might well be talking about the devil himself. You understand what I'm saying? Anybody who studies racial dynamics in the United States, you know who Nathan Bedford Forrest is. He was a rock star. He was a rock star of the racial thing. And in his public statements and various public statements in the 1870s, because it's one thing to change in private. It's a whole nother thing that now you out there, you got your ex-homeboys talking about, y'all can take them hoods off. He like, we ain't doing it. You see what I mean? He's out there in public. I'm sure he had some life. I'm sure they threatened his life. But he literally in the 1870s began to advocate for the rights of Black Americans, calling for fair treatment in society. And he made specific speeches from the 1870s to show that he shifted. I don't have the exact dates, but it's well documented. And they even founded something called Forest Park in 1880. In 1880, It involved the establishment of a park in Memphis. Shout out to Sarah Gatekeeper in Memphis, which was intended to be a space for both races. This is 1880 something. We were still segregated, but it was supposed to be a space where both black and white people could enjoy it together. And it indicated a desire for peaceful coexistence. And these actions, this shift occurred. It shows you something, right? The man was racist as hell. I still think he was racist. Maybe he changed. But the bottom line is, that's what I'm looking at. He ain't nobody beat Truman. Truman is the winner as far as racist as hell, unrepentant, but still damn. There's some other people. Remember George Wallace? We always talk about that former Alabama. Segregation now, segregation forever, right? Former governor of Alabama, Bloody Sunday, staunch supporter of segregation during the 1960s. But see, later on in his life, especially after his unsuccessful presidential bids, he expressed regret for his earlier views and anti-black hate. And he sought forgiveness from the African-American community. I want you to think about that. I'm talking about George, segregation George. Okay? Even the slaves, you guys know the Amazing Grace, a national anthem? Huh? We heard about that. It was a big uproar about that. John Newton. Okay, Newton was a slave ship captain and involved in the transatlantic slave trade. And after a religious conversion, he became an abolitionist and wrote the hymn Amazing Grace. Amazing grace, how sweet. I don't want to kill it off key. I've been yelling at the internet for about an hour and 50 minutes, so my tone ain't gonna be where it needs to be. He wrote that song. This man was a slave ship owner. Okay, and now he became an advocate against slavery and promoted the dignity of all people. Look, man, I'm just saying. I think all y'all are racist. I think black people are racist, bigoted, prejudiced. I think given the opportunity, a lot of black people will be as racist and prejudiced as anybody else. I think Japanese, Asians are racist. I think all y'all are racist. I think you're tribalistic. I think you're racist. I think that's just part of human nature. I'm just saying. Now, I don't care. That's the other thing you need to understand. I just don't care. As long as you do what I need you to do. Okay? And that's not the only one. All right, Robert Byrd, long-standing senator from West Virginia, former member of the Ku Klux Klan in his youth for decades, right? Right? But then he began to be an advocate for civil rights during the later part of his career. Think about that. Think about that. Robert Byrd, y'all heard these names, right? These are white men. Hell, Richard Nixon, they recorded him and Ronald Reagan on the phone talking about N-words one day. Apparently the FBI recorded it. And this man was staunchly against civil rights. And then he began to take steps towards advancing civil rights, including establishing the minority business enterprise and signing affirmative action policies. I want y'all to think about that. But earlier in his career, he was trying to appeal to segregation center. Hell, David Duke. Now, I don't know about David Duke. I need to think about it. But even David Duke, the former Grand Wizard of the White Knights of the Ku Klux Klan, he publicly attempted to distance himself from his past to try to appeal to a broader audience. I don't know. The jury's still out. But the fact that he would do it public, I don't know. But I think all of those men are still racist. I think they were racist and they died racist because you just don't give up your strong held belief. Now, here's the thing, okay? We're not dumb. And the problem that I have is this. Let me show you what the problem that I have. I'm going to just run this back to you just so you can see where we started. This is what I have a problem with, all right? Again, I still think all these folk are racist. I don't think, but do I care? That's the question you want to, do I care? These people, the black folks in the Democrat Party are telling us they're trying to scare the hell out of us. Say they racist. You shouldn't even want to vote for them at all. But it's like, but Harry S. Truman did more for us than Barack Obama. You understand? I mean, Harry S. Truman did more for us than Most of Bill Clinton put us in jail. Just think about that. Harry S. Truman let us join the military. Made sure our military guys, because one black man got beat up. Now he said, I'm going to integrate the whole military. Just think about that. I just want you to think about that. But you got people out here like this.
Runaway slaves hiding in the White House.
These runaway slaves hiding in this is our own black Jamal Bryant pastor talking to us like we stupid. Runaway slaves. This is how he described us on national TV. This is what the rest of the world, you want to know why black folks get treated the way we do sometimes? This is how our leaders speak about us.
These runaway slaves hiding in the White House.
Wait.
All because
these runaway slaves hiding in the White House.
All because some of us decided to go to the Trump inauguration, but the Black History Festival in DC. I want you to think about that. Again, I don't really care if a politician is racist or not, as long as I get the things that benefit me. And see, that's a level of sophistication that requires people to go beyond their emotions. Let's go ahead and get straight to it. Black people who supported Donald Trump, they're not dumb. Okay? And just so you all know, I voted for him twice. I didn't vote him for the first time. I held my nose. I voted for, Hillary Clinton. Okay? Super predator. I didn't, okay? I voted for Hillary Clinton. But after that first term, I'm like, man, shoot, this man is really doing real stuff. I'm not a black MAGA. I'm not a conservative. I'm still a Democrat. I just vote my interest. Really don't matter. I'm not really trying to vote in the run-ups. But the bottom line is we're not dumb. We're not confused. We're not brainwashed. And we're damn sure not race traitors. You understand? We are free-thinking people who made an informed decision based on policies and outcomes and the realities of America, not blind party loyalty or emotional manipulation. Yet every time a black person publicly supports Trump, we're met with insults and ridicule and outright hostility. And see, here's the thing: it's from the same people who claim to fight for our liberation. And the idea that black people all have to think and vote a certain way is the exact mentality that kept our ancestors enslaved and oppressed for centuries. Look, the message is clear. If you vote Democrat, you're an idiot, right? I want to say that to you again. If you think if you think for yourself, right, or should I say, if you don't vote Democrat, you're an idiot. And if you think for yourself, guess what? You are a nocturnal animal that forges through the garbage at night. That's what you are. Okay. If you disagree with the mainstream black narrative, then you're a sellout. All right. That sounds familiar to you? It should be, because this is the very essence of a plantation mentality, where master told slaves that freedom was dangerous and that the only way to survive was to obey him without question. And the same people calling us dumb for supporting Trump are treating us like political slaves. Did you hear what this black man said about us? I want you to hear what this man said from his pulpit. Okay?
Runaway slaves hiding in the White House.
Think about that. Listen to I would go through the rest of this hot mess, but it's just disrespectful, and we heard it earlier. But I'm just saying.
Picture. Show the picture of the one that fired the black Joint Chief of Staff from the military.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, we're dealing with facts over feelings. I don't support Trump because I'm looking for a white savior. I don't need anybody to save me. Okay? We don't support Trump because we hate being black. We damn sure don't support him because we're ignorant. We support Trump because we look at results and not the rhetoric. All right? Now you want to talk about dumb. We as black folks have been supporting the Democrat Party for 60 years. And what do we have to show for it? Our schools are failing. Our neighborhoods are crumbling. Crime is through the roof. And we're still at the bottom of the economically, despite being the most loyal voting bloc for Democrats. Shout out to Penny Ford. We get a lot, but we get it on our own. But it seemed like the money was available, and we know now because what? Because when those immigrants came up, they got doled out all kind of money. So tell us again, who's really dumb here? The people who continue to vote for the people who continue to hang out on the plantation, like Calvin Candy in the chat room. Huh? Who's really the dumb ones here? You continue to vote for the same politicians who have failed you for decades, right? Or is it a wiser decision, somebody who decided to think for themselves and try something new? See, here's the thing. Before Trump ran for office as a Republican, most of these black entertainers and athletes and business leaders, they loved the man. Whether we talking about Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, they both praised Trump for helping black businesses. You had rappers like Tupac and Snoop Dogg, they name dropped them in the songs as symbols of success. You had boxers and actors and celebrities, they saw this company because he was a powerful, wealthy businessman. But nobody called him a racist until he began to run for a Republican. And suddenly, the same man who received awards from black organizations, helped black entrepreneurs, and was respected as a figure in hip hop, as a cultural icon. People watch this show. Y'all watch that show. What is it called? You Got Fired. I forget what it's called. But now overnight, this man is transformed into a white supremacist. They knew all that stuff about the Central Park Five back then. They still put him in his rap songs. And why? But the question we have to ask ourselves is, why is that? Would they have been calling Donald Trump a racist had he run under the Democratic ticket? Probably not. They call him a racist because they can't afford to let black people think for themselves or vote their own way. See, they think our vote is owned. They don't think they have to earn it. And so to those who say black Trump supporters are dumb, understand this. You don't own our minds and you don't own our vote. And you excuse my language, pardon me, and you certainly don't own us, okay? We're not your political slaves. We're free black Americans who refuse to be manipulated by fear and media propaganda and race baiting. It's 2025, okay? And I'm making this crystal clear. We think for ourselves. We're free people. Somebody type "we free" in the chat room. And we voted based on the facts, and we refuse to be controlled. If that makes us runaway slaves, then so be it. But understand, we're not coming back to the plantation. Now, is Trump a racist? Well, are we dumb? Was Oprah Winfrey dumb when she was hanging out with this racist man who's now the president? Was Whoopi Goldberg dumb when she was hanging out with him? So my question is, when did he become a racist? He became a racist when they told us he was. Was he a problem for Hillary Clinton when he stood at Chelsea Clinton's wedding? Was he a racist when he was golfing with Bill Clinton every day, every week for years? Now let's talk about some of these specific instances. And I'm not here to defend Trump or anything like that. But I done already talked about Harry S. Truman, and I call him like I see him. Clearly, Harry, all y'all N-words, Truman was a racist, okay? Just trust me, clearly, all right? He never changed, right? Again, do I care? Probably not. But let's just look at it fairly. Because when I look at Donald Trump, it's a mixed bag. Trump and the Central Park 5 thing. They say he was a racist because he took out an $85,000 ad and advocated for the death penalty for these now young men who've been exonerated. It's problematic, but here's some stuff they leave out. At the time, the media told everyone that we got him. There was no conversation. Nobody told us they beat the confessions out of him, right? And the general public, including Donald Trump, They reacted to what the news said. Hell, there's a lot of black people in New York saying, thank you, finally got them. They need their butt whooped. Trump was a Democrat. He wasn't even a politician. He was a private citizen. The district attorney, the assistant DA, the chief of police, all Democrats. They were ones responsible for prosecuting those kids and having them beat up and beating those confessions out of them. And now, in 2024, they marched those same young men out on the DNC stage to do what? Blame Trump? What happened to all those Democrats that were in charge of it, who ruined those boys' life? So my thing is, how does that even make sense? And see, if we're gonna hold people accountable, let's go ahead and hold them accountable. You understand? Let's go ahead and hold them all accountable. What about Joe Biden? Let's talk about Joe Biden for a minute. Joe Biden has a long history. No, you know what he is? He's an acceptable racist. That's what it is. Somebody type acceptable racist in the chat room. Joe Biden, in 1977, let me tell you what old Segregation Joe said. The man, this is 77. I was alive. Okay? Mind you, racist Harry S. Truman had already desegregated the military. And that had been going on since the 50s. So now desegregation in the military is almost 50 years old. Brown versus Board of Education popped up in 1955. Joe Biden opposed school busing. Like, okay, that's fine. We'll desegregate the schools, but you're not going to be able to ship those kids from across the town over to my school. That was how do you get them over there? You live in separate neighborhoods. Let's listen. I want you to hear. He said, I do not buy the concept, popular in the 60s, which said we have suppressed the black man for 300 years. And the white man is now far ahead in the race for everything our society offers. In order to even the score, we must now give the black man a head start or even hold the white man back to even the race. That's what Segregation Joe said. But y'all voted for him, didn't you? Y'all voted. He was an acceptable racist as far as the Democrats were concerned because he was a D. He literally referred to the schools as being racial jungles upon the institution of busing. Now, of course, he came back and said, well, I regret that because he was running for president. This is what your president said. The man that y'all wanted to sleep, the doggone Segregation Joe. Now, some of y'all said, well, that was years ago, Dennis. You know what you're talking about. In 1994. Because, see, we don't want to just talk about things he said. Let's talk about stuff he did. 1994. Shout out to Intricately Tangled. Joe Biden wrote and pushed the crime bill. And this led to the mass incarceration of black men specifically. And the bill expanded the mandatory minimum sentences. And it led to the over-policing of black neighborhoods, and it resulted in private prison profits soaring. And as the chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee, Biden was instrumental in drafting and passing the Violent Crime Control and Law Enforcement Act of 1984. The bill specifically aimed to address the so-called rise in crime, and that was resulting largely from the dope that the CIA was pushing into the black neighborhood, but it disproportionately targeted black and brown people, okay? And everybody acknowledged it. That's 1994. We creeping forward, right? What about his remarks in 2006 about Indians? All right, he said in an appearance, he said, you can't go to a 7-Eleven or a Dunkin' Donut unless you have a slight Indian accent. Now, that was a quip, okay. But it was definitely a stereotype, and he was criticized for it. What about he said, let's slide forward, about what he said about Barack Obama. Mind you, Barack Obama was the first black president. What did he refer to him? Senator Barack Obama, said he was the first mainstream African American, mainstream African American. He's articulate, he's bright, and he's clean. What are you saying? Are you saying the rest of us are tongue-tied, stupid, and dirty? That's basically what you're implying. Your mind spoke the truth. That's what he said. And they put him in office because Barack Obama being black, they needed a counterweight to that. So okay, we'll get Barack Obama in there. We're the first N-word president, but we'll get one of our guys in here. You know old Joe. You know how he is. Keeping in mind that this man referred to Senator Robert Byrd as a dear friend and mentor. Keep in mind, this is the same Robert Byrd who said he regretted what he had said when he was younger. The man was a member, he was a former KKK exalted Cyclops, okay? And Joe Biden knew him at that time. And it's called him a dear friend. So you was a mentor. He was your mentee when he was the Grand Cyclops, the exalted Cyclops, okay? That was your mentor, the late older Robert Byrd, who we don't know. All right. And of course, you all heard the comment in 2020 said, you ain't black unless you vote for me. Said that on the Breakfast Club. You have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump and you ain't black. And of course, the comment met backlash, right? Because it's basically the presumption is dismissive of African Americans and our own autonomy. Basically, you N-words get back on, you don't know how to think. All right. You don't know what you are. All right. That's what that said. What about Hillary Clinton? She was a Goldwater girl. Goldwater, Barry Goldwater, and this is in 1964. I'm talking about your girl, right? She even put a cowgirl outfit on and a straw cowboy hat with the embolization AUHUO, a play on Goldwater's name and the chemical formula for water. Okay, her family was Republican leaning, and her, this is where she was. You see, and Goldwater was racist as hell. And also in 1996, Hillary super predator Clinton, as the first lady, she gave a speech talking about the Crime Act, 1994. And during the speech, she referred to black kids as super predators and said that they had no conscience, no empathy. And this is why her husband was getting having fellatio performed on him in the White House by that little white girl. I just want you to keep that in mind, right? You need to be focused on what your husband's doing in the White House. You around here worried about kids. You know who the super predator is? Your husband. That's who the super predator is. Your husband. You out here worried about these kids. Y'all done put the dope in the hood. Okay. You done sent the fathers to prison. Okay. And drugged out everybody. And now you calling the kids super predators because they run wild. You need to go focus on your husband, Hillary Clinton. That's what you need to do. He ran there with that blue dress, got stains on it. It got a little man juice all on that little girl's dress. That's what you need to focus on, Hillary. Okay, maybe you should do your job better and he wouldn't be out in them streets like that, thirsty and hungry. That's what you should have did. Nevertheless, let me digress from that. Then when she started running for president in 2016, she said, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say it. I need you N-words to get back in line and vote for me just like you voted for Barack Obama and voted for my husband. We didn't forget about that super predator. What you said, we grown now, and you called us super predators, and all of us remember. Okay, we remembered that. Okay, so what I'm trying to say to all y'all is this: it's been some racism on both sides, and I'm pretty convinced that just I'm racist, y'all racist, we all racist. This is America. It's what we do. It's our pastime to be racist and bigoted and whatnot. That's what we do. Okay. Some of y'all up in here, I'll say some prejudiced stuff. Ooh, look at that big head fool over there. Ooh, I will say it. You might not hear me, but I say it to you. Okay, but if you call me and you need some help, I'm like, all right, I got you. Send me a little small fee, and I'll do a little paper before I get you together. You see what I'm saying? So my point is, You can still be racist and sign the First Step Act. You can still be racist and integrate the military. That's what I'm. Let's be a little. Let's think about it. Do we really? If everybody's racist, that need to be off the board. That's what I'm trying to explain to you, family. Now back to old hot boy, fancy pants Jamal Bryant and all the rest of you folk calling us runaway slaves hiding in the White House. This fool really, this individual really stood up there and said that. We need to talk about that. See, the truth is the Democrat plantation narrative is false, but y'all know I'm trying like heck not to say these profane languages. I've promised Jesus that I was going to rehabilitate myself and I was going to have a family-friendly broadcast. Okay, but you know, late up in the evening like that, Uncle D get to slipping, and sometimes a little taste of the language will come out, and that. So excuse me, all my Christian family and friends for saying these words. I'm doing the best I can. When y'all pray for me, pray for strength. I need all the praying hands in the chat room to make sure I don't let it fly. But sometimes these folks make me very upset with the disrespect. But nevertheless, let's go back to Pastor Too Many Baby Mamas Bryant. So anyway, sir, when I look at these people, right, you call us runaway slaves, okay? And what are we running from? You know what I'm saying? Looks like we're running away from decades of empty promises and failed policies, and the Democratic Party's manufactured dependency. That's what we're running from. We're running away from the party that has kept Black communities locked in the hood and poverty and messing with our families and keeping us broken and telling Black women that they're strong and Black and don't need a man. And we're tired of that also. All right, our voices are exploited. Every 4 years, y'all bring y'all sorry selves back over here and you get what you want. And then after it's over, you discard us after the election. And we ran away, some of us, uppity N-words, ran away from the Democratic population, politicians. And we went over there and said, we're going to vote for you, Trump. All right, that's what we're going to do. But my question is, y'all keep telling us he's a racist, but you never apologized for Joe Biden's 1994 crime bill, which locked up literally hundreds of thousands of Black men. Hillary Clinton's dumb self called us a bunch of super predators, and we don't accept her apology. Shout out to Penny Ford. Barack Obama, you say Trump has deported more. This man deported 2 million. Barack Obama deported 2 million immigrants. If Donald Trump deported as many people as they've been deporting a week for the next 4 years, he will not have deported as many people as Barack Obama. All right. So he's the deporter in chief. That's what they call him. Nevertheless, Trump was reelected. Okay, sworn in. Now y'all panicking. You're desperate. Instead of accepting the truth, and you're resorting to name calling because you have no argument. You talked about General Charles Brown. This is the problem with that. Charles Brown was appointed by Trump in 2020 as the chief of staff of the Air Force, and then Biden said, "Well, yeah, come on over here, and I'm gonna promote you to chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff in 2023." He just got that job. He was in the job Trump had him for 3 years, and then he just got this new job. And the reason he got dismissed is because Trump, like, man, we can't do all that identity politics stuff no more. Trump hired the man, and you mad because he fired him? Oh, it's racism. Okay. So why did he hire him? If he racist, why did he hire the Black man as the chief of the Air Force or chief of staff of the Air Force? So you saying he fired him because he Black? That's what you're saying? But he hired him because of his merit? No, maybe they just had some divergent policies. I mean, is everything gonna be racism? That's just gonna be y'all default setting? That's like, ladies, that's like your man cheating on you because, the other woman cooked better than you. But then the next time he cheated on you because, I don't know, you hurt his feelings. So every time you get your feelings hurt, every time you just gonna cheat, that's your default setting to go cheat. Bernard Harrell. I mean, at some point you're like, come on, man, maybe you got something else going on up in there. But here's another thing they talk about, all these book bans, and I want to talk about this. All these Florida book bans. The problem is with DEI, okay? The problem is, okay, they keep trying to mix all our Black empowerment movements with all this other rainbow stuff, okay? That's the problem. So in Florida, they have something called House Bill 1467 and House Bill 1069. And it's going to allow parents to challenge books based on the content. Okay. And what does it challenge? It challenges pornography and material in these kids' books. Okay. That's what it challenges. That's the problem right there. Now, out of about 400 or 500 books, apparently they banned about a third of them. But it's because y'all keep putting that rainbow stuff in the books. Talking about this is DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. Okay, y'all should have stopped at the equity part. Diversity is fine. The equity and the inclusion is what's messing it up. We can be diverse, but damn, this equity and conclusion means these folk with these rainbow flags can put all this stuff in the books, and we don't want our children looking at that. You understand what I'm saying? This is not an attack on Blackness. This is to protect our children, and they try to sneak that in there under the auspices of Blackness to get y'all to come along with it. And Elon Musk and our IRS data. What part of the government do you think does not have your social security number? You think they want your mama welfare check? Don't nobody want that $6.99, girl. It just gone. Y'all need tripping. You understand what I'm saying? And here's the cold part about it. There's zero proof that Elon Musk has access to your IRS records and your social security data. But who gives a damn anyway? It's the government. The man was appointed by President Trump to do whatever the hell he's doing up there to make sure these folks are not stealing your money. I want to see where my money went. And as far as the insulin prices, look, Trump has not tried to raise insulin prices. There's a $35 cap. All right, that was part of the Inflation Reduction Act. And before that, the average out-of-pocket cost was $55. All right, and there's a cap on inhaler prices too. Okay, it was a voluntary decision by manufacturers. Nobody's trying to make sure your mom. We know your mama got sugar. We know she got that sugar. We're gonna make sure she get a shot. All right, just calm down. You can't keep believing these people. They're just trying to get you in an uproar. Now, as far as the family separation, they separate. As I said, Obama put the people in cages, man. Obama put the people in cages. And Biden continued those policies. Parents cross the borders, put the kids over here, put the parents over there. Trump is doing the same thing they did. See, these people are really about vote blue no matter who, even if they're stealing your money, fool. You understand? That's what this is about. And y'all don't get it twisted. They want to control you. Now, the thing is, fam, this is not about Trump. This is about Black America waking up. It's about economic empowerment. It's about us depending on ourselves instead of the government, because we already know what happened with the government. You depend on the government is going to let you down. Black women have been using the government as their man for a long time. And look what the government just did, just fired a whole bunch of them in Washington, D.C. We need to focus on family values instead of state-sponsored division. We need to focus on real justice instead of and the reform instead of mass incarceration. Most important thing is freedom of thought. You are free people. Instead of all this identity politics and vote blue no matter who, all that crap. Look, man, we are too far along as Black Americans, right? To be told that we need to stay in line. We need to vote blue, no matter if this person is senile, crazy, or a crook. You understand? We're not going to just do what we're told. It's 2025. We're not runaway slave. We left the doggone plantation for good, and we're not coming back. Now, what I want to do is take the opportunity to thank you, beautiful people who've contributed to the Super Chat, the Cash App, and the PayPal. I ain't finished. I got something else mean to say to these folk. But the first thing, I want to give a big shout out to my Cash App family. I will not read your first names. I'll read you. What did I read last night? I think I read first names last night. So I'll read last names tonight. Thank you, Dean. Thank you, Spruill. And thank you, Booker. Appreciate you. All y'all, I appreciate you folks. Now let's go ahead and get on over here. We got 35 super chat. I know y'all learned something. Y'all know y'all learned something. And so if you did learn something, you want to confirm that you learned something, go ahead and get me the 40 super chats. 40 will be sporty. 35 is all right. Okay. Let's go ahead and shout out to my man TIQS, Ice Lords Assemble. That's what I'm talking about. From Here to Enlightenment. He said, what's the name of that song at the beginning? I know it's up on Esquire Entertainment. I think it's called, it's the last one I uploaded on my Esquire Entertainment channel. It's called, The Prize. That's what it's called. Shout out to Big Bass Life. Yolanda Edney, thank you so much for the $9.99 super sticker. Thank you, my love. Quick 504. Uncle D spitting on some white lightning. No, man, I just drink water, man. I don't drink anything. Man, I probably only drink a little bit of champagne maybe once a year. I don't even drink anymore. I practice jujitsu and all these other martial arts. I'm trying to be healthy. That's another thing. I'd like to be able to talk to y'all about health, because it's a lot of brothers out there that's unhealthy, and I like to, you know, part of longevity is health. You know, health is wealth. But either way, yeah, I drink water. I don't drink that moonshine, brother. Thank you so much. Quantum Solace, if Trump does what he says about giving American taxpayers $5K, he would have cemented J.D. Vance's presidency. If Trump gets rid of the IRS, hell, you might as well put you sure right. Boy, you just spoke the truth about that. Boy, I can't stand the IRS. Boy, them a 3D. You might as well tell me a cuss word. I've been audited twice. I wrote a check to the IRS. I don't even want to say. I couldn't. My baby mama might be watching. Try to get that more child support. But anyway, I'm just saying. IRS is a horrible institution, and apparently they're saying it's not necessary. We can just tax these other people and let them pay to sell us stuff over here. I'm like, I'm with that, man. Shout out to Quantum Solid, my man Quantum Solid. Although he's changing things up, they cannot maintain the status quo of being on top. It's over for the system. If people understood prophecy, they would know it's over for what they're saying. Amen to that, brother. Quantum Solid back at it again, man. Thank you so much. I had to pay $150, bro. I had to pay $150K in tax. The only thing I work my butt off to obtain what I have compared to these roaches. Yes, you are right. Yes, you are right. These jackbutts wasting our money in full. Yes, they are, man. That's what I'm saying. We all mad about the doggone IRS, and the doggone Democrats are trying to convince us to let these clowns come back in. Heck no. Heck no. We got 36 super chats. Let's give me the 37. Let's give me the 40 if we can. Jamal Rowe, thank you so much. And also Quantum Solace again. He says, where are all these animal activists? All I hear is crickets. They have no smoke for what they've been doing to these animals. I know, right? Animals by this demo administration. They just hurt cocaine and dogs and making kittens dizzy and, you know, blowing lizards off of trees. That's just crazy. Lance Jackson, thank you so much. LJ, cut the damn check. Somebody type $5,000 in the chat room. Somebody type cut the check in the chat room. I want my money. Green Music, brother, you are hilarious. Love the world. But the FBA is over everything. Thank you so much, family. I appreciate you. Johnny Harris, all that money was used to those useless projects so the country won't pay us. This is something that I will cost it. Look, at least they can pay with the state I live in. Just give me $5,000. Just give my state $5,000, all us, man. I take that in. I could use that $5,000. Let the people over in the other state, they'll wait. They can wait in line. Anyway, man, shout out to everybody. Let's see, praying for Elisha. He's a racist. At least in these crooks' eyes, they were used to throwing out their word to turn off FBA. Well, we're not asleep no more. Sorry. Yeah, you can't scare us like that. You tried it. It worked for many years. We're just not afraid anymore. You know, we just been through too much. Shout out to We got 38 super chats. All right, y'all get me to 40. I need 2 more, and that'll be 40. 38, 30. Need 2 more. Shout out to Gloria Savory. Thank you so much, sweetheart. Corey Smith, good looking out, brother. Johnny Harris, he said our government pays the oil companies $15. $15 million each year. Yeah, they need to let us hold some. They need to let us hold some. This preacher is not anyone I would follow. I would follow. Amen to that, brother. Real talk, Eugene. Also, Penny Ford. Trump wasn't lying when he said these women will let you grab them by the P word. They were just as mad. He said some of these women will let you grab more than that when you're famous. He was not lying. It's true. You know, I mean, I'm just saying, because we know it's true, because this is what the society we live in. Hell, back in the, you know, like you $40 in the chicken sandwich, you can have the whole thing. In some communities, $40 to get you $40, right? Isn't that what they say? $40, $40. They get you a chicken sandwich and a $40. You be right where you need to be, man. But anyway, Kay Willard, these folks crucified Michael Vick for fighting dogs, but Peter has no smoke for the government conducting studies by injecting dogs with yayo. Yeah, that is crazy. That's just the sickest thing I heard. Where do you think they get the dogs from? Probably the kennels and such. So that's terrible in itself. Quantum Solace, bruh. This happened when they step foot on our lands. If it was the Queen of England that emptied all the prisons in England, right? And telling them they never return or get dealt. Yeah, if they ever return, they get dealt with. Just where do you think these 93,000 criminals went? Yeah, man. Yeah, they cleared out Newgate Prison in Great Britain and sent them all over here to what was at that time the New World. So it's nothing new. Shout out to Real Talk, Eugene. Thank you so much, brother. And shout out to Terrence Cooper, gifted one Dennis Spurling Pop. Man, we need some more memberships. I just uploaded the video of Kevin Samuels and Melanie King and myself, along with my fiance at the time, down in Miami on his last birthday. So this is the first time I've left it up. It's for the members only. It's for the, I think it's for the ballers. So all the ballers, y'all go up there if you want to check it out, man. That video is up there for that membership. But nevertheless, y'all become members. Membership has privileges. You're going to get some behind the scenes stuff on the membership side with the videos, man. Make sure y'all go check it out. Also, Bath Chakmat, thank you so much for the $5 super sticker. Penny Ford, most of them come to America to self-segregate anyway. Ain't that the truth? Ira Gordon, good looking out. Truman was also in cahoots with Israel. Zionists owned many of the slave ships. He was a snake, no doubt. Yeah, damn, Truman was racist as hell, but he still desegregated the military. So keep that in mind. A proper girl to the African tether, Joy Reed. Thank you so much, Penny Ford. Bobby Williams, we still got 38 super chats. So we're going to get 2 more before I finish. It'd be great. We'll see. My man, Bobby Williams. Hey, thanks. I appreciate all this information, knowledge, and information. Yeah, I appreciate you too, family. I work hard, and I want to make sure I give you guys good quality stuff, something you can learn with. Keep it funny, but keep it interesting. Keep y'all learning. I'm originally from Cincinnati. We showed you what we do when the KKK showed up. Yeah, Cincinnati showed up and showed out. Shout out to Quantum Solace. This is when it all started for you migrates that come to America, all these killings of our brothers coming back from the military. This is how it started, which was part of making change. Thank you so much. Sarah Gatekeeper, $10 super sticker. Thank you so much. Penny Ford, shout out to the Democratic Party for electing Donald Trump with their antics. Yeah, the couch got Donald Trump elected. The couch was so detestable to most black folks. They said, I can't even go out. I don't even like Donald Trump, but I like the Democrat. But I don't even like them enough to vote for him. So that's what happened. Shout out to Intricately Tangled. Black people, please vote your interest. Yes, I'm not telling you who to vote for. I'm telling you to vote your interest. That's all I'm saying. I don't care who you vote for. Vote your interest. Penny Ford said, Jamal been a fool. The people that follow a fool are crazier than the fool himself. That's a very interesting concept. You are definitely on point with that. Also, Bernard Harrell, thank you so much for the $5 super sticker. And also, who we got? Sleep with the Third Eye Open. Thank you for the super sticker. Yah Kids, all praises to the Most High. Good looking out. Thank you for the $20 from here to Enlightenment. I want to thank, let me see here. We got, thank you so much. when did you start taking martial arts? Have you ever taken Krav Maga? I have not taken Krav Maga. I just never found it that interesting. You know, my kids took it and I observed, but not really my thing. Thank you so much, Penny Ford. Australia was a penal colony for Britain. Yes, it was. All right. So let's go ahead and hit them with this smoke. It's Uncle D. I appreciate everybody. I want to make sure that I always acknowledge the MVPs, and these are the people who contribute to the super chat. I'm gonna give everybody collective rock and roll. Thank you so much, fam. Y'all get the collective rock and roll for contributing to the super chat. I appreciate you all so much. Y'all like my yellow rose? Blossoming a little bit. Now we got 39 super chats. I appreciate everybody for that. Shout out to the replay gang. Everybody who came through with the replay. All my replay gang. Big out. Make sure if you're watching this on the replay, you type replay in the chat room. Now look at here. Okay. Look here. 39 super chats. Look here, all my people out there. Look here. All these thousands of folks to be coming through. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether Donald Trump is a racist to me. Shout out to the 40th super chat. We did that. It does not matter to me if he's racist. What matters to me is whether his policies benefit my interests as a group of Black people. We got to stop getting caught up into in emotions and start focusing on results. We can't, we can debate personal feelings and rhetoric all day, but what truly impacts our lives is policy and economic growth and criminal justice reform, education, safety, opportunity. You see, those are the things. I don't need a politician to like me. I don't need them to pretend to be my friend. I don't care about their personal feelings towards me. I don't care about whether their actions serve my interests. That's it. The only thing I can care about is how that helps me. Because see, far too long, we've been told to prioritize how a politician makes us feel over what they actually do for us. And that's a losing strategy. And the only thing that matters is outcomes, right? If someone's policies put more money in my pocket, give my family better opportunities, and create a safer, stronger future for my people, and that's what matters. Preachers, politicians, pundits, they've lost their power, especially entertainers. Hell, the hottest rapper in America right now is JD Trump. You understand? That's it. DJ Trump, hottest rapper. We don't care. Do you all care what's going on in Hollywood? Have we even paid attention to that? We don't care anymore. We're beyond that. Hollywood has lost its luster. But nevertheless, for years, hell, for decades, these people have used fear to shame and manipulate us to keep Black folks in check. And they've stood in their pulpits, they stood behind podiums, they were on TV screens, movie screens, and they told us how to think, how we should vote, who we should support. But let me tell you something. You no longer control us. You've lost so much political weight that the only people who are still swayed by your rhetoric are those who can't think for themselves. And we are done with this blind loyalty. We're done with the guilt trips. We're done with the plantation politics and the name calling. It's time. It's like children calling you out your name on the playground. You sold out. I don't give. Shut up. You understand what I'm saying? Be quiet. This time we're voting our interests. Yeah, again, I'm still a registered Democrat, just like most Black Americans. But did that mean we're your slaves? Does that mean you own our vote? And in this election, voting our interests means it meant voting for Donald Trump for some of us. We wanted the policies that benefited us, and Trump delivered. Look at him now. We want to secure borders. We got that. You see? Because we tired of having our job sacrificed and our safety sacrificed for the sake of these illegal immigrants. We wanted to know where our doggone money is going. Because of corruption, it apparently runs deep in Washington, D.C. We wanted our taxes lower because working people shouldn't be funding all this endless government waste and these weird projects. We also wanted to end the war because we wanted people to stop dying. And we heard that when he said that. We didn't care about who won. We just want people to stop dying. We wanted Joe Biden and anybody associated with him out because they've proven themselves incompetent. They've proven themselves out of touch and unfit. We wanted to stop Kamala Harris because she represents the same old failed policies and the same old pandering and the same old destructive policies. Somebody type collard greens in the tub for me, okay? Put collard greens in the tub if you hear me. That's how she came at us. That was her pandering, faking like she black. So I'm not going to be shamed into voting against my interests because you call me names. Forget you. You assume that all black people are the same, but the truth is we are individuals. We have our own minds, and you insult us with ignorance when you think otherwise. You insult us with disrespect when you think otherwise. But understand this, your manipulation no longer works. I don't care who you said ordained you to speak. We're not going back to the plantation, and if you keep pushing, you're going to make more black people call you the real enemy. You see, it's not white people, it's you. It's you slave driving black folks on the Democrat plantation with your bullwhips. You're the real enemy. You're the modern day slave catchers. You're the modern day overseers, and you black. You want us to do what you say because you say do it, and if you don't do it, you're using these threats and shaming and talking about you're going to pull up on people. Those days are over. We're not going to be intimidated by that. You can call Trump whatever the heck you want to call, racist, divisive, problematic. None of that changes the fact that his policies, as they are right now, are actually working on behalf of black people. Shout out to Mr. Lane. All these decades of empty promises, and we finally got somebody that's doing something that seems like it's going to work. That's all we care about. Stop disrespecting us. All this rhetoric. We want what's in our interest, not emotions. We want power, not approval. We want results, not rhetoric. We are free men and we are free women. Let me say that again. We are free black men and we are free black women. We are free people. And anybody that stands in the way of that is our enemy. You're the enemy of foundational black American people. You're the enemy of us, period. So you need to go somewhere and sit down. This is a new day. Praise God. Hallelujah. Everybody in the chat room, I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. I'll be back soon. God bless y'all. Thank you we got 41 super chats. Shout out to Yaya and shout out to Mr. Lane. Thank you so much, family. I love you all. God bless you. This is Uncle D. And as I always say at this time, I am. Well, you know, before I go, remember that. Y'all go look up Harry S. Truman. He was racist as hell. Racist ass, N-word Harry. Godly. But anyway, that was a good story. I'm going to keep talking about him. I mean, damn. Excuse my language. My bad. Anyway, I'm out. I love you guys.
Dennis Spurling.
In the city where the lights don't sleep, Uncle D got the vibe so deep. Representing men strong and free. Dennis Spurling's the king of the spree. In the streets where the rhythm flows, black men rising, that's how it goes. Uncle D got the truth to show. In his heart, that's where the fire glows. and wisdom gleam. Voices whisper truth and insight. In his podcast, feel the light. Harmony in every word. Truth and laughter you've heard. Well, that's all right. Wave after wave of smooth delight. Dennis brings the dark to light. That's the limit, baby! Share the tales unfold. The stories warm like morning gold. Feeling the wisdom inside me. Subscribing like time after time.
Black men, black men, black men, I want to salute you. Your incarceration rate is down. The education rate is up. We up. We went from, we are doing great for ourselves. So you should salute yourself. Shout out to all the brothers out there, whether you're a truck driver or engineer, whether you're an electrician or garbage man, a doctor, a lawyer, if you're a hard-working brother, if you fresh out the penitentiary, but you on your grind and you doing it legal and you trying to make amends for yourself, man, I salute you too, brothers. God bless you. This is Uncle D, and you know, I'm out.